Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, January 4th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It wasn't a very good night last night. I was a half point away from a profitable night. Two meaningless baskets cost me the under in that Pelicans-Wolves game, which was extremely frustrating. The Devils -1 was, as easy as a cashier can be, even with the Capitals tying it up at the end of the second period. The Capitals are a bad hockey team. Right now, what's working, and it's good, and I imagine it's going to keep working. I mean, you don't want to get too confident in anything. It's just there's certain teams I want to fade so badly. And the Capitals are at the very top of the list. I can't wait to fade them game in and game out, especially when they're at home, because we'll get better odds fading them. They're not a very good hockey team. They're an old hockey team. They're going to get worse as the season goes on. And that was great. So that was very easy. College basketball and NBA was not. The Hawks was too easy. It ended up being a sweat, with the 3.2 seconds left and the Thunder inbounding the ball down 3. And they got it to Joe. Isaiah Joe is a perfectly called play. But they were in control all game long. I mean, it was double-digit lead all game long. They're just so porous defensively that there could have been a problem there. Then Brooklyn, it closed at 4. Through the first half of the game, I thought, I thought I was going to sweep the board in NBA and went 1-2. Then VCU and NC State were bad spots. I ended up live betting them both at +5.5. NC State won outright and VCU didn't. And I lost a tiny bit of VIG on the live bets. Stanford UCLA under 137.5 was very, very easy. Shout out to C-Mac and Noli Knows, who were both on that one. So 1-2 in NBA, 1-2 in college basketball, not good. 1-0 in NHL. That unit size now $300. So, more important to cash in NHL than is another sport. So now, okay, so we move past it. 3 and 4 day. If that's what's filling me with rage, that's okay. And we're not talking 1 and 6 days. We're talking a 3 and 4 day where I was a half point away from a 4 and 3 day. So we can move past it. Let's move past it. And the Cappers on the show yesterday didn't, succeed, and they're champing. They're so ready to get back on the show. Daby Cab 0-2. He's like just counting down the seconds till he comes out here. Mikey Money went 2-4 on the show. He's just counting down the seconds to come out here and fire away. So there are going to be losing days, and we just happen to deal with one. So let's move past it. This NHL card is so juicy. I moved on 5 bets yesterday at 6 p.m. expecting to beat all the line moves. It looks like the Kings line moves going against me, which I couldn't care less about. If you think the Kings losing 3 straight, they're about to lose their 4th one, or that the Red Wings are in a nice spot because they beat the Sharks and they're hanging out in the Bay, God bless you. I'll go toe-to-toe with you with the Kings on a 3-game losing streak every single day of the week against every team in the NHL. Every single team in the NHL. So I don't care that one line's going against me. And in NHL, I don't really care when the lines go against me. Couldn't care less. It really came to fruition the last couple of years when the spots where I had the most CLV were negative ROI. So, and the spots where the lines went against me were nice positive ROI. So I could not care less. But this NHL card is so juicy. We're going to beat the shit out of it. We're going to attack it. Gogster's ready to rock. So I've made 5 bets. Now there's 3 more where the lines were slightly going against me. And I was like, I'll wait. And now the show has started. So, I've waited 18 hours, 17 hours, and I still haven't moved on them. Maybe I don't, but we'll talk all of those spots out. Shout out to all the cappers joining us in the chat. Let's get to work here. Let's get to work and let's get paid. This is crucial to get the year off to a strong start. And yesterday was not great, and that's okay. I mean, not every day is going to be a huge winning day, but today better be. Shout out to Sammy Calmer, says, good morning, Clean Read. Oh, thank you, Clean Read with the Hawks last night. Thank you. Warriors will be on Sammy's card tonight. Interesting spot for the Warriors, who played the Nuggets twice in Denver, lost 2 close games, and now come home. And then Sammy Calmer says, Rafa to win the Australian Open, now 7-1 on Pinnacle. And Sammy gave it out at 22-1. A week and a half ago. Great work, Sammy. This is what makes this show so special. There's my guy Smoking Mirrors, Richmond, Virginia, in the house. Zoe Faye ready to get to work. Cody Norton just jumped on St. Francis. We're not, I did take a look at the game too, and I just didn't find it appealing enough to actually get the whole day started and the rhythm started with that game. But go get that cash, and we'll keep an eye on it. Viper NB in the house. Justin McKelvey, Washington Huskies. Oh, that must be. Damn, I was very excited. I thought that was national championship. We're going to be live for the national championship right after last call with Mikey Money. We're going to be live, and I can't wait. I don't know what to do at this point. My dad's been running hot, and it's been costing me money, and he sent in a bet on Michigan, a -4.5 for $300, and I haven't sent it in yet. I might send in. I'm not sure what to do with it.
Never send it in.
Well, that's the way I'd like to handle it. But if I do, I do think it's important to stay strict on these things, right? Like if you're tailing a capper and you pick and choose when you tail them, it can blow up in your face. If you just tail them on every single bet and they're winning capper, you'll win. And I'm not sure. There are some injury issues. So we are doing our breakdown of the national championship tomorrow with Bobano, and we'll cut that out and have that up on our YouTube page. And then we'll rock that live stream on Monday, right after last call. Morgan Spooner, favorite play on the board is Colorado plus 12.5. You're going to hear a capper on the other side of that. I'm really enjoying the 3 cappers coming out, giving out their best bets in college basketball. So we're going to do that again. Flea Mathis sweating out Chechia plus 1.5 right now. There's Morgan Spooner with Colorado plus 12.5. Great to see all of you guys. North Ender, Hawks, and Raptors 2-0 starting the new year cooking. I wish I was on the Raptors. When I watched that game, I was like, no, I know it's just right now with the excitement of the new roster and everything, but the Raptors were just a better basketball team. And having Schroeder coming off the bench is a great opportunity here. Burner is going to fire off $50 NHL parlays today. You're going to have a ton of opportunities. Nasty Nate in the house. There's Tori Coker, Wine Time Sports. Wine Time Sports made his debut on NFL Pub Hub, went 3-1 on NFL Pub Hub. An impressive debut. Debuts are not easy. We'd love to have you back this week if you're available. Wine Time. So J Dub Von Polo says NBA was awesome. From nice job, Von Polo. Wine Time did move on the over 142 in this early game. Oh, in the early Sacred Heart game. The early game. Jay Smooth ready to get to work. All right, so let's go. Philly Eagle Flyer, Robert Franklin, Saturated, Markel, D. Jenkins, Series Business, Philly Eagle Flyer, Orange Juice, Octopus in the house, and there's Joe T ready to get to work. So his best spot is Georgia State Southern Miss over 147. We love hearing your looks, Joe T. I love seeing your model at work, my friend. There's Kelly McInnes ready to rock. Great to see all of you guys. Al Cervic, Mel says USA Finland in 2.5 hours. We have Sky Dragon in the house, an 18-1 ticket on Washington to win the national championship, which means Michigan's free money. I'm looking forward to cap that game heavier, and I've been spending time on it. Slatsy's on the Kings -1, -118. It's shocking that the lines moved towards them. Preds money line -112. That's going to be the only one of the 3 I know I'm going to move on. I know people love the Flames right now for reasons that escape me, and I'm just kind of waiting to see what kind of line I'm going to get. The other 2 that I haven't moved on, we will talk about that. It's great to see all you guys. Kongs, Clips, plans on being on Michigan State -13. There's Luke Murphy. esteemed author. Luke Murphy says, marking papers this morning, listening to you. I don't know about that. I can't even finish that conversation. The Futon bets ready to go. Jason Eastler, Red Girl, Lucas Ryan, Nate Dogg 4 at 20. Slatsy says, Josh Anderson at the morning skate for the Habs, still waiting for goalie confirmation. So far, Bruins -1 at +110. The Bruins are just going to keep winning. They're going to keep winning, and keep winning. All right, it's great to see all you guys. Let's get to work. This is such a beautiful, juicy NHL card. We have some NHL cards that can be big and heavy and not have a ton of gambling opportunities. There were opportunities that were screaming and yelling at me yesterday, and I'm so excited to be on. I'm so excited to watch all these games this evening. And let's get to work right now and bring on your expert in NHL. He is on the Peter Loshak show every Tuesday, and he's on Betting with the Bag every Thursday. Now, on Tuesday, on the Peter Loshak show, 4 and 4 plus 0.9 units. You know, he's a plus money monster. His average line this year on our two shows combined is plus 120. He's made 130 bets. He's sitting minus 0.94 units, ROI minus 0.72%. Just a taint hair away from the black, and we get there. We get there after today's show. I'm moving in the right direction, but it's not enough for me. Double-digit units, I need that soon, but we're plus 1.23 units right now on the season, over 119 bets, which is low for me at this point in the year. That'll climb when I start doing Tuesdays with Loshak. 47.9, even though I'm betting every day. I'm betting hockey every day, so it'll move forward. I'll get to 300 or 400 by the end of the year. Plus 1.23 units, ROI plus 1.03%. My average line is plus 111. Cash with the Devils -1. Let's get to work, shall we? Please welcome our NHL expert. He's changed his Twitter handle, and I like it. He does have, he does look like a, late 20s Wayne Gretzky, and he's now Gogster99 on X, and I like it. Coming to us from Belleville, Ontario, the only city dirtier than the dirty Chester of Mikey Money. Please welcome Mr. Gogster to the show. Gogster, how are you, my friend? You look serious. You look ready to rock.
Let's go, buddy. I'm ready to go today. Nice 13-game slate. Good to see it's frozen up here in the Canada land. So, I want to heat up here on the ice tonight. Nice 13-game slate. Top of the morning, everyone.
Top of the morning. Let's get right to work. 7 p.m. Eastern. We start with the Pittsburgh Penguins, 18-14-4, 8-7-3 on the road. The Boston Bruins, 23-7-6, 11-2-3 home at TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts. I would like to find spots now to back the Penguins. I think that they're slightly better than their record indicates, and that slightly better will give me some decent opportunities. I only want them against the best teams in the league. I only want them when Crosby and the vets in the room are going to step up against the top competition. That's it. And you would say, well, is this one of them? The Boston Bruins are bet on. They are a bet on hockey team ever since McAvoy and Zaka came back. This is a bet on group, and they've been paying us out. Tristan Jarry going up against Linus Ullmark. The magic that Swayman and Ullmark have right now is pretty special. They seem like best friends, and they're succeeding together. The Milan Lucic dark cloud seems to have gone away enough. We won't ever see him again in an NHL uniform, but it's gone away enough. Tristan Jarry, Linus Ullmark, Pittsburgh power play 13.9%. I think that's another part of why I want to start finding spots to back the Penguins as dogs, and this is not one of them. But because their 13.9% power play will end up at about 18%. They're going to find the rhythm in the second half because there's just too much skill there. And their 82.3% penalty killing is something that you can have faith in and trust in. Boston special teams are spectacular. 27.5% power play, 85.9% penalty killing. They're just the real deal. Penguins come in off a 4-3 loss at home versus the Capitals on Tuesday. Again, if you guys are looking for spots to back the Penguins, don't ever back them as a favorite. They don't seem to utilize that role. And they didn't again against the Caps. Bruins coming off their 4th straight win, 4-1 at the Jackets on Tuesday. Let's get into the line history here for this one. First off, and I got in on the -1 at plus 109. And I imagine that that's the similar number right now. This line is moving towards Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to give them a tough game. but I don't care. I'm going to bet Boston every opportunity I can against competition that the market respects. This total is at 6. It's open up minus 104 to the under, now minus 102 to the under. So we've had no movement there. Take it away for us, Gogster, Penguins, Bruins.
Yeah, I don't got anything on this game, Jim. I love the breakdown. I lean to the under. I think it'll be a tight game, kind of like what you're saying here. Pittsburgh should play them pretty tight. Coming off the 4-3 loss to Washington, brutal loss there. It's funny, on the Tuesday show, I said if there's one game in the parlay make me a little nervous, it was Pittsburgh, and what happened? Pittsburgh lost. But you're so right with the favorite. They should, every time they're a heavy favorite, kind of steer away from them. But before that loss, Jim, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They won 5 of the last 6. So Pittsburgh is playing really good hockey, but then so is Boston. Won the last 4 games. Other than Detroit, they haven't allowed more than 2 goals in those 4 games. So I would lean to the under. It's going to be a no play, but kind of like a first period under, full game under is where I would be looking in this game, guys. It should be a really good hockey game, tight game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess I do lean towards that under now that I think about it. This is going to have a playoff feel. Anytime, it doesn't matter if the Penguins are 18, 14, and 4. When you look across to see Crosby, Malkin, Letang, you get ready to go. This is a big game. Morgan Spooner, I expect college basketball to start in 52 minutes. 52 minutes at 12:10, 12:15 here.
No football.
So I like this. I guess I do like this under. I didn't realize that I did, but I do. Okay. I guess that's going to be this is just going to have that atmosphere to it.
Yeah, and they got an 90% power play too, or penalty kill power play. 89% penalty kill. Yeah, like their penalty kill is really strong. Pittsburgh's not doing much on the road. It would just be maybe if Boston score like 4 or 5 in this game. That'd be my only worry. But Pittsburgh's playing really well. Kind of had a bad game too against Washington. Got behind the 8 ball too early. So should be a tight game. First period under, I kind of like, but I'm not going to play it. So
I am going to play that. Sammy Comer saying 6 of the last 8 head-to-head have gone under 5.5 in Boston. And stories of taint stories from our Zoe Fay. Important taint stories. This would make Loshak's shirt. This would make Loshak's shirt very important. We must keep this comment for when Matty Ice arrives for the taint play of the day. So thank you for that very personal information. All right, let's move on. JPC parlayed the Bruins and the Kings last night. I like that. So I have 5 bets that I've made. I'm going to move on that under 6, and then this is one of the 3 bets that I'm on the fence with. So let's roll. Buffalo Sabres 15, 19, and 4, 7, 10, and 3 on the road. Montreal Canadiens 16, 16, and 5, 7, 9, and 2 at home. Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec. UP Luokinen, Jake Allen. I'm not sure if it will be Jake Allen. These were
I got Monty, but no confirmation. Yeah.
Well, that makes more sense. I did not think that Jake Allen was in. It was left wing lock, and I just put it down. Buffalo power play 12.8%, penalty killing 77.8%. Montreal power play 18.6%, penalty killing at 72.8%. Real Deal Prime says Sabres money line, baby, and Real Deal Prime knows that the Sabres, I think, are one of the best fades in the NHL. That they are respected in the marketplace, and I'm not sure if they should be. Maybe they get hot at some point this year, but I enjoy fading them very much. I had them losing on the -1 line against Ottawa. Had Ottawa -1. Ottawa won 5-1. Now, Buffalo put up 40, mid-40s in shots. I mean, they have a lot of skilled players on their team. I can, if you want to have a longer conversation, I can tell you why I think their roster doesn't work. But Habs coming off snapping their 3-game losing streak with a 4-3 win at the Stars on Tuesday. So the Habs come home from this long road trip that finishes on a high. And now they come home, and I don't know if I move on it anymore. I don't know if I do. I mean, it's not easy coming home, and I sent a message to Slatsy last night around 7. I was like, "Are we moving on Le Habitant?" And I don't know if I do here. This total opened up at 6.5, -118 to the over. It's now -120 to over. 2-cent move to the over, and from a money line look here. Oh, I'll get both of these set up so I can go a little faster here. But from a money line look, I could have got them at +115 last night. And now Could have got them at plus 120 this morning, and now I can get them at plus 128. There was a 10-cent move on the Sabres 6 minutes ago. I have no problems going up against market moves in NHL, none. But there's a reason why I haven't bet it yet. I'm uncomfortable. Take it away, Gogster. Sabres, Habs.
Yeah, I think for me, reason why I'm taking the Sabres, guys, they're pretty much healthy now. They're missing their captain, Okposo, but he's like a fourth-line captain. So they're a healthy team, Jimmy. I think they're going to start rolling here. Levy's the question mark for me is their goaltending, but you got Montreal coming off that road trip. Really good game against Dallas. It's the injuries, too. Like, it's just – I'm looking at the teams here, Jim, and I just think there's injury. Where am I here? So I got so many tabs. Injuries there. They got Anderson, Anderson, Dvorak, Pearson, Newhook, Pinard. They've been out for a while, but Dvorak and Anderson, that'll hurt a little bit. 71% penalty kill too. The Buffalo Sabres, they have a 14% power play on the road, but that's going to improve. And you told me about the shots too, Jim, which makes sense. This team's getting healthy again. They're a fast hockey team. I think they're gonna take advantage of Montreal here. I think it'll be a fast-paced game, and I do think there'll be some goals. So I got Buffalo money line in the over 4.5 plus 100, guys. Montembeault, he has been decent at home, but I think we're going to start seeing really good hockey from the Sabres. This is a spot I'm going to bet on them against the Canadiens, and see what happens. But the injuries are kind of where I think Buffalo healthy. I'll bet on them now.
I think you are, let's mark the day, January 4th. Let's mark this day. I think that they're not a good bet. I do not think that. So let's take a look over the next 10 games and see what they do for you. I just don't think that they're less than the sum of their parts. And
okay,
so I'm really interested to see how this works out for you on the long run. And I do not have the conviction to go up against you. I thought that I did. I did, but I don't. Sabres money line, the over 4.5 at plus 100. And I don't care that the Sabres are healthy. They're going to be major sellers very soon in the marketplace. So teams are looking at, of course, we're not talking about Tage. We're not talking about Tage, but God, the Sabres stay up at night dreaming about possibly getting rid of Jeff Skinner and some of these ridiculous contracts that they have. But in saying all this, Sabres are going to win a cup over the next few years with Power and Dahlin.
Yeah.
So
Yoki Haru too. I like this guy too. First line, he's pretty good too. Real
Deal Prime says the Sabres aren't selling. Okay, so not only that, but we're going to go back to this comment again. Real Deal Prime.
Slatsy's saying too. Anderson was that morning skate. So Anderson, if he's going to be going, that will help. But even so, I'm pretty strong on Buffalo. We'll see what happens tonight.
If the Sabres don't sell with this young nucleus that they have at the deadline for more young talent to win the Stanley Cup in 2 years, and you're a Sabres fan, then you should lose your mind, because this team has zero chance of making the playoffs this year, and they have a great young nucleus, and they could become a great hockey team. All right, we move on. Gogster is locked in on the Sabres money line in the over 4.5. Charlie Chips, NBA is last here in the spot. Last, yes, Northander. I think that the Sabres will win the Stanley Cup within the next 3 seasons. I do. That's what happens when you have 2 number 1 overall defensemen that are 6'5". I mean, I do. All right, let's move on. Yes, Charlie Chips, we're closing, and there's only 2 games in NBA today. College basketball and NHL are the big spots here for us to make money.
We got winners here.
Let's roll on 7 p.m. And you know what? I love this too. Real Deal, and with Gogster, this is what's fun. We don't need to sit here and agree with each other and pat each other on the back. We're trying to find angles and edges, and we're doing the best that we can. And it's more enjoyable if we don't agree with each other every step of the way. So there's no disrespect at all. This is what will make us better in the long run. All right. And Mike says that his cat agrees with Gogster on Buffalo. So cash that ticket. 7 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Blackhawks 11-24-2, 14-15-1 on the road. New York Rangers 25-10-1, 12-5-0 at home. Madison Square Garden, New York. Peter Mrazek has done exactly what we said from a statistical standpoint to a T. And now he's at a 3.24 goals against average, 904 save percentage. Remember, he had a 928 save percentage. Next stop for him is an 888 save percentage. and a 3.49 goals against average. Shesterkin not playing well, being questioned publicly in the media. 15-8-0, 2.83 goals against average, 906 save percentage. Chicago power play at 13%, penalty killing at 74%. Rangers power play at 30.1%, penalty killing at 83.6%. Blackhawks coming off their third straight loss, 3-0 at Nashville on Tuesday. The market knows exactly how bad this hockey team is. Mm-hmm. So I can't fade them. I've not backed them once all year. I don't really know what to do with them. They are trying to play more defensively. Rangers coming off an embarrassing 6-1 beatdown in front of their home fans, delivered to them by the Hurricanes, who are flying right now. This has to be an extremely angry Rangers fan or Rangers team. What the hell do you do with it? I don't know. I mean, they're minus 425 favorites. They opened up. I'm now minus 430. This just moved 11:23 a.m. They opened up at minus 385, so we have a 45-cent move towards them. I don't know. I just gotta not care about the hockey game. I don't see what to do. This total 6.5 across the marketplace, and Pinnacle just moved it to 6. Moved it to 6 an hour and 1 minute ago. Take it away for us here, Gogster. Blackhawks Rangers original 6 matchup.
Yeah, Robbie Franklin's liking the first period over here. Slatsky leaning first period after they get smoked. Yeah, the Rangers are going to come out here, Jim. I think Bolivier, Tyler Johnson, Radish, Joey Anderson, Zeth Jones still. Hall's been out for a while. Athanasiou, they're missing too many players to keep up with a team like the Rangers here, guys. So I'm not going to think too much about this one. Rangers are going to get this one done. And defensively, I expect Shesterkin. I think he's going to have a strong game here after kind of, especially getting lit up last game against the Hurricanes. So I'm taking Rangers in regulation, Jimmy, and I'm going to take the Chicago team total under 2.5. That's coming out to minus 130. A little bit of juice from Gogster here, but don't see Chicago scored more than 2.5, and then Rangers get this one done in regulation after getting absolutely smoked last night. And also Blackhawks got a back-to-back tomorrow at New Jersey. So, Mrazek too, weak numbers on the road. He's been doing decent at home, Jimmy, I found, but on the road, just subpar. So, Rangers in a blowout.
A team total under 2.5 and the Rangers in regulation. That gives you a minus 130 spot here. Chip Plylar looking at because you got Ottawa in there too, Chip. What are you taking them? Let me know what that is, Chip. And then Slatsy's got Rangers first period minus 0.5 at plus 102.
Yeah.
So does Robert Franklin. I mean, I guess that's the way, And Mel sprinkling on Blackhawks in regulation. Fanatical Jim also on Rangers first period minus 0.5, and Justin McKelvey saying he agrees. Disagreeing respectfully is what makes it all better and fun. I agree. I'm totally with you. Robert Franklin on that first period over 1.5. I guess that first period minus 0.5 makes a ton of sense, doesn't it?
It does. Yes, it does. And you're getting plus money too. I haven't been hitting a lot of those first period minus 1.5, but I like my plus money. I probably should have actually looked there. I'm taking minus 130, but. Yeah, I do like that first period look.
The Rangers were just embarrassed. I mean, they were being booed. Why wouldn't?
And this is the weakest team in the NHL next to maybe the Sharks. So it's just a Rangers smash spot. Yeah.
Wow. But why would they be giving they don't give you these things for free. God, how do they not though? Okay. Wow. That's a really good look by the.
I like that play. Yeah, the chat. Good play by the chat there.
Yeah. I'm shocked that you'd be getting even money, and then I'm wondering if there's something. Oh, sorry, Chip. My bad. Of course. So I'm just used to TTO, not OTT. But sorry, I was thinking Ottawa instead of. But team total over 1.5 for Chip. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting. That's a very, very. I think that's just really strong. That's the only way I could see. I understand your handle of it, but wow. Okay.
That makes sense, guys.
And Slatsy took the Blackhawks team total under 2.5 with the Sharks team total under 3.5 at plus 104.
Wow. Love that.
Okay, let's roll on. So I like what you guys are doing here. I like it. Let's move on to 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, injuries can affect our best laid plans. The Columbus Blue Jackets, 12-19-8, 4-8-5 on the road. I can't hammer home how much better I think they are than their record indicates. At the Philadelphia Flyers, 19-13-5, 8-7-1 at home. I think they're a little bit worse. Not a ton, but I think they're worse than their record indicates. but they do not have the depth defensively to lose Zach Werenski. No. And as much as I love their forward group, you can't be playing Gudbranson 20 minutes a game. Gudbranson shouldn't be in the NHL if you judge him by his Corsi numbers over the last few seasons. And he's not a tough guy. He physically is strong and he's big, but he doesn't fight unless he's got a weak opponent. He doesn't protect his teammates. I despise him. Everybody in Vancouver despises him. Luke Schenn was by far the toughest player on our hockey team because we had guys like Gudbranson who were big, but inside are little bitches. And he's so slow, and I can't have. And I would love to back them here. I would love more than anything to back them here. And I still think they're probably live here. Columbus comes in off their second straight loss and 5th in 6 games, 4-1 at home to the Bruins on Tuesday. 4 of those 6 games were decided in overtime, and the Jackets only won 1 of them. Now, we lost against the Devils in a huge spot for us. So Burner says, so take Philly now. No, I don't ever want to back Philly. And it's not even in the wildest dreams would I back them at this number. They should not be this big of a favorite against any team in the National Hockey League. In Philadelphia. It doesn't matter. So I want to bet the Jackets so badly. I'm saying I've wanted to now for 18 hours, but I can't. This is at plus 171 right now. It opened up at plus 166. So there hasn't actually been a move to the Flyers. Flyers have gone from minus 191 to minus 191. There's been a move on the Jackets. And then from a total standpoint here, we're sitting at a 6.5. It's a 6.5. Oh, it moved to 6. This actually opened at 6 and jumped up to 6.5 and then dropped to 6. I'm going to pull out a couple more other things. I want to see how long Gudbranson's been playing the last little while, because he just shouldn't be on the ice. And Provorov is doing yeoman's work, but it's just not enough. What is your plan here? Did you move on it?
I didn't, but this guy here, Jimmy, David Urasek, butchering his name, really young player, 6'5", 6'6" on skates, 210 pounds. He's going to be a stud for this team. He's got 18 minutes, 16, 21 minutes of ice time. Hasn't got a lot of production, but plus minus, he's only -1, 9 points in 33 games. But this is a guy who's going to be an up-and-comer, first-round pick a couple of years ago. Actually, I remember seeing him here in Belleville. He's a really good player, can move the puck too. So I kind of lean towards the Blue Jackets at that number, but whenever I got Philly coming off all these losses, kind of like Washington the other night, Jim, coming off 4 losses here for Philly, I think they're back home. They're going to put a good foot forward here. And Blue Jackets, they just can't close games out, really. 6-5 against Toronto, 9-4 against Buffalo, 6-5 against Toronto. That's been their only wins in the last 10 games. So kind of lean to the over, but I can't get to the window, as we like to say, Big Ragu style, on this game. So it's going to be a pass, but at the number, I would lean towards Columbus here, but going to be a no play.
Gudbranson played 20 minutes. He's been playing 20 minutes a game.
Too much.
I just I can't do it. I can't.
They should change. Like, I'm seeing he's on the 3rd line. Like, they shouldn't. They got what's his name, Severson back too. So Severson back, he should get more minutes. But yeah, I agree. He can't play that much time, Jim.
No, it got Branson, North Ender saying, I said all year I really like the Flyers forward group. They're a tough group. Defensively responsible, big, and then they have the 5'8", 5'9", the Brinks and the they have the playmakers. But
this Blue Jacket team is going to come at them too, I think, Jim. So I kind of lean to the over. I don't think Columbus can really play a lot of under games. Maybe this is one, but yeah, this is just they're offensively talented. Columbus, it's just defensively, and like you said, their defensive group, goaltending too. Not subpar.
Merzlikins starting to play better. I think he will continue to play better. I think he'll have a 907 save percentage. I think they'll get to 915, 914. I wish I could bet the Blue Jackets, and I'm going to have just to sit back and wait. I'm going to have to sit back and wait. I need Werenski back there. I need Werenski playing 23 minutes. But I love the second line. I love the young Russians. I despise Line A. I don't care that he's out. I despise Goodrow. These guys are not needed. You could cut if they could cut these guys and cut their contracts. If this was like NFL with no guaranteed money, I know that they are guaranteeing money in these contracts, but they would be cut right now and they'd move forward. But I'm off. I got to stay off, which sucks. Let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern. Vancouver Canucks 24-10-3, 10-6-2 on the road at St. Louis Blues, 18-17-1, 11-6-0 at home on Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. One thing that I've noticed about the market here is that they don't love the Canucks at all, the market. And I think they're betting, they're placing the Canucks market-wise at the right number, which you could say, well, that doesn't give you any value. But I think that there's value on the St. Louis Blues at home, probably every single home game for the rest of the season. So I'm going to keep betting them. Do we know if it's Hofer or Binnington? I had Binnington listed last night. I hope it's not Binnington, but
I got Binner too, Jim, but no confirmation I'm seeing.
I'll have to deal with it. There's our guy, Matty Ice, taint in Miami by double digits. I love it, Matty Ice. Great work, man. Vancouver power play at 24.2%. I found that very interesting that this power play started to tail off. I did not expect it. Oh, and Binnington's confirmed. And 77.7% penalty kill. It's a little better than it's been. St. Louis power play 11.3%, penalty killing 79.4%. I expect this St. Louis power play to improve. I do think it will be Demko. We'll see what it is. But the Canucks coming off their second win in 3 games, 6-3 at home over the Senators on Tuesday. And the Blues come off their second straight loss, 4-2 at the Penguins on Saturday. So I moved on these Blues. There's our guy, TJ, in the house. His PGA goes off in a few hours. Morikawa over Hovland, Cole over McCarthy, Glover over List, Rose over Thigala for our guy, TJ. Thank you so much for the dono. And please follow our guy, TJ, on Twitter. He put up a great write-up for all of these 5 golfers, why he was betting them. So
that was great, by the way, TJ. Really appreciate that. Look forward to capping golf with TJ. Yeah, check him out, guys. Great golf capper all around. Had him on the show a couple years ago too, Jim. And just another good low bagger in our group. Yeah, great guy. And same with Billy Friedrich, who's starting to feel better, kind of recovering from COVID, starting to feel better. Glad that you are, Billy, my man. Okay, so let's get back to this spot here, Canucks Blues. I moved on the Blues at plus 127. We'll start with the total. This total is sitting at 6.5 minus 104. And there's spots here on the card on my 5 that I've already bet where it was more of an idea. Like I'm not sitting here saying the Blues are going to beat the Canucks tonight. What I'm saying is that at this number against the Canucks, I think the Blues will win 48% of the time and give us a profit at home. And look at that. Jesus, at plus 134 now. And also, the Blues should be bet every single home game for the rest of the season. Wow. So this was this got down to plus 111 at 2:55 in the morning. I didn't know that had happened, but I would have felt very good. Now we've had this huge rush on Vancouver and it's plus 134. That's a better number than I get. I like the Blues a lot here, but again, they have value in this spot, and I'm going to bet them every time in this spot. Take it away for us here, Gogster, Canucks Blues. Yeah, I couldn't get to the window with Canucks here, and nor the St. Louis Blues. Total kind of lean to the over. It's going to be a no play for me, guys, short and sweet. Di Giuseppe, it looks like he might be out there for Vancouver, so what is he, a third line player, Jim? We've all fallen in love with him. This team needs grit. Every team needs grit. He delivers the grit. He goes to the dirty areas. He fights hard. We love him. Every team needs a player like that, especially come playoff time. Yeah, no, that's big. Then there you go, guys. So yeah, the Blues. I would kind of lean to the Blues here. It's just I confidently I can't bet this one. I know Demko, weaker numbers on the road, 5-4-1, 898 save percentage, 2.9. goals against. It is
Jake Allen, by the way. It is Jake Allen.
Okay, we do have Jake Allen. So that is their better. Well, Montembeault, he's got a 5-3-1, 915. But anyway, back to the Canucks Blues here. I just can't get to the window here with this game. I think it could be a St. Louis spot. Their power play, 10%. It should improve. I do agree there, Jimmy. Falk looks like he's going to be out of the lineup. Just too much humping and hawing for me on this game. Going to be a pass. But I wouldn't talk anyone off the Blues here in a possible underdog.
And our guy, Nate Dogg 420 on Vancouver money line and the over. So let's roll on. And Ken Davies talking about the Canucks beating them 5-0 last time. You're going to see very similar action for me as we move through the season. And I very confident on it. Fading the Capitals as much as I can. Backing the Blues at home as much as I can. And there's a couple other spots here you're going to see. And this is one of them. Calgary Flames and Nashville Predators, Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, Tennessee. Backing the Predators. They don't need to be backed at home. It's not a home road thing. I would like to do. I think that in the long run, you're going to make some money off of it. And I don't know if they really need to be situationally bet. They're a deep team. They're a young team. And you just pretty much kind of just want them as dogs. Going up against the Flames, who I want to fade as much as possible. I read from colleagues this feeling that the Flames are a bet-on hockey team. I couldn't disagree more. That what's going on in Calgary, players don't want to be there. The team doesn't get along. They don't like the arena. They don't want to show up. Huberdeau's falling apart. I mean, it's just where are the positive stories? Because there's a lot of sad ones. Now things will change when they get their new arena. Nashville, I was waiting for the line to move down. It's minus 112 right now. This went down to minus 117. I was like, okay, it's going to keep going. And then it moved towards Nashville again. This was minus 122 at 7:47 in the morning. I know the public is going to bet Calgary. I know I just need to be patient. And that's what I've been trying to do. So of those three spots that I was wondering if I move on, that would be Montreal, Columbus, and Nashville. I'm definitely getting to the window with Nashville. Yeah. And Burner says the Canucks are respected as road favorites. For a team that's 24-10-3, they're slight favorites, decent, good, okay favorites at home, and slight favorites against the Blues on the road. I think that the market has them completely correct. I'm always surprised at home when they're minus 150 or minus 160. For the team that's number one overall in the NHL, you'd think they'd be minus 230, 240. So just because a team is a favorite doesn't mean to me that they're being respected in the marketplace. I just think that the market's right on the Canucks. They're not high on them. Mm-hmm. Even though they're number one team in the league out of the break. But look, I'm on Nashville here. Nashville, and I love it. Take it away for us here, Gogster, Flames, Predators.
I hear you there, Jim. On Nashville, I'm last second play here was on no goal, first 9 minutes, 30 seconds. I just think the Flames are playing better defensively. And the biggest thing is the goaltending. Markstrom, he is playing better hockey. His numbers were not good. Last few games, though, 3-2, 928 save percentage, 2.03 goals against. On the road, he's got a 915, 261. And then Saros was coming off that shutout. It was against a weak Chicago team, but I think he can ride that momentum at least into this first period early on. And then same with Markstrom. Two teams that are playing decent hockey. And even looking at Calgary here, they've had 4 of their last 6 have gone under the total, holding their opponents to, Anaheim, Florida, Tampa Bay, all under 3 goals, along with Minnesota. I think it's going to be a tight hockey game. I didn't know how to play the under. Ended up going with the no-goal first 9 minutes here, guys.
You got it locked in. I'm just copying and pasting the taint play of the day. Lipscomb minus 1.5. We will be discussing that when we get to college basketball, which will be shortly, within 30 minutes, within 20 minutes we'll be there. So Gogster has the no-goal first 9:30, and I'm going to be on Nashville. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. I just want to squeeze as much money out of it as I can. Maybe I just wait till after the show at this point. Let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, Colorado Avalanche 24-11-3, 8-7-3 on the road. Dallas Stars 22-10-4, 12-6-1 at home. American Airlines Center, Dallas, Texas. This would be a great time, to fade Colorado on the road. They've won 8 of 18 games on the road in regulation. I would love to fade them, but I fear them. I fear them to such an extent. They have so much talent. And if they get the power play late in the game, I mean, it's a snipe job for McKinnon. He's playing as confident and as well as I've ever seen him play. This line's not moving. Open up Dallas minus 130. Now Dallas minus 126. I kind of, I wish and the problem is I watched them in their last game, and they just looked so good offensively. They won 5-4. I had the -1. They won 5-4 in overtime. I bet them live down 4-3. They're just a team where they just keep coming at you in waves offensively. The under 6.5 -106, now -114, 8-cent move to the under. Dallas doesn't want to get in the firefight with these guys, and Wedgewall still in net. Georgiev is no better than Wedgewall. I mean, they're very similar. These special teams are so similar as well. Colorado, 24.5% power play, 83.2% penalty killing. Dallas, 22.1% power play, 85.3% penalty killing. LJ from H-Town in the house says Dallas Stars at home first period over 1.5. Says 15 and 4 to over best trend in hockey. Nate Dogg looking at first period over as well. I'd love to back the Stars here after losing to the Habs on Tuesday. I think I can do it. I think I might be able to do it. What do you think here, Gogster?
I kind of want to too, Jim. I kind of want to too. Like Ryan Johansson, that's he's not going to be in the lineup, guys. It looks like he's going to be out. That's their second line center with Valerie Nichushkin and Miles Wood, which Nichushkin, he's had a hell of a year. So missing that center, man, I think that's going to cause a little bit of issue there. Like Lehkonen, Foodie, Wagner, Francouz, Landeskog, they've all been out since the beginning of time, it seems like. But then looking at the other side, Dallas is completely healthy offensively. So Colorado's going to have their hands full, and those trends too. This is a really high scoring team at home, Dallas Stars, and they don't have their number one goalie in net either. So until Ottinger gets back, it's going to be overs. So I got full game over, guys. I don't mind anyone taking the 1.5, but I got full game over 6.5, Jim, minus 110. Only worry would be maybe if Colorado doesn't put up enough weight here, but I don't think Wedge would. His save percentage last 5 games and at home, decent sample size, well, almost 10 games at home, 893 save percentage. So I think there's going to be enough offense here to put this over. I would lean to Dallas getting this one done too, though.
Slats says Stars won 14-15 at home following a loss, which applies here. Mel says Lehkonen very close.
That's a good sign.
If I'm playing the Colorado Avalanche, I'm playing the tightest defensive game I played all year. I don't really like the over 6.5 here, but with the goaltending, you're absolutely right. But if Dallas plays that way, if this game goes over, Dallas will be lucky to win. If this game goes under, Dallas will win. So
minus 130. I think actually I had Dallas. Now that I think about it, I had Dallas originally written down here minus 130. I think it was just Wedgwood. It was a little bit of a worry.
I have to bet the Stars here. This market, it doesn't make sense. Dallas is 12-6-1 at home, and they're going to have a better record than that when the season ends. And that's a pretty good home record. Colorado's won 8 of 18 games in regulation on the road. If this game goes past regulation, obviously the team with Makar and McKinnon is likely to win. I have to bet the Stars here. They really, judging on the records and the situation with Dallas coming off a loss and Dallas at home against Colorado, they should be a bigger favorite than this. Mike says the line minus 124 fishy. It's not fishy. Everybody loves betting the Avalanche. And if you go to and I did look at this one, 75% of the tickets and 91% of the cash is on the Avalanche.
Okay.
There's nothing. It's not. People just love betting the Avalanche, and they all have a bias. I'm sitting here talking to you, and I see McKinnon sniping the tying goal on the power play.
I think goals. Yeah, I think goals, man. Like the defense too for Colorado, Jim. They got Taves, Makar, Byram, Manson. They got everyone. Gerard, Jack Johnson. They got their main core, and they're so good at just those outlet passes. Colorado, their defense is really good at just setting up their offense. So I think just the way they've been trending to Dallas. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. I would lean towards Dallas getting this done, but I'm going to stay off this one. But I think I'm not stay off the sidewise over 6.5 minus 110 is where I'm playing.
And I will be on the Stars minus 1. Chip is on the first period over as well. All right, let's keep rolling, guys. Speed this up a little bit. I love the next spot on the board. Tampa Bay Lightning 18-16-5, 7-11-2 on the road. Minnesota Wild 16-16-4, 10-6-2 at home. If you were looking at the records, why would you want to have anything to do with a Lightning team that's won 7 of 20 games on the road in regulation? And that's a completely fair statement. But the Minnesota Wild are, it's time to put our foot on their throat and step down. And that's what gets us paid in hockey. XL Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. We can't even talk about the game until we go to the injury report. Kaprizov and Jared Spurgeon out. So there's your best forward and your best defenseman. You take him out of the lineup. Matt Zuccarello out. So there's your winger, your line mate of Kaprizov, power play specialist out. Brodin on defense. Top 4 defensemen out. Marcus Foligno, day-to-day, heart and soul hockey player. I was hoping that the Canucks could get him last year around the deadline time. So, I mean, this is just, I'm sorry to Wild fans. What are you supposed to do? Now, so when will the Wild be able to succeed with these players out of lineup at home against a team that might be taking them lightly? But the Lightning have lost 3 of their last 4 games. And they're coming off a 4-2 loss at the Jets on Tuesday. If you ran with us in our opening NHL shows, you'd be on the over 91.5 points with the Winnipeg Jets, a spot that Dennis Garcia and I talked all about together the night before the season started. And, the Jets are just a really good hockey team. The Wild coming off their 3rd straight loss, 3-1 at home versus the Flames on Tuesday, and, get used to it. And Slatsy talking about, I'm just hitting Minnesota's injuries, not the injuries here for Tampa, but Sergachev, Cernak, and Fleury being out, and Cernak could play tonight, and I hope he does, obviously, but Sergachev's been bad this year, and all I need is Victor Hedman. I need him for 30 minutes of the game, and we can figure out who's going to play around him. Take it away for us here, but it's a very important point, Slatsy, that I should have brought up as well. And Zoe Pace says sounds like an under. It does sort of sound like an under. I got the -1 at +132. Just a huge opportunity for a huge score. This total's at 6 -108. So now it's -110 to the over. So we've had a 2-cent move to the under at 6, and then from a money line spot here, Tampa Bay is -128. They opened up at -120. They got up to -142 at 4 a.m. Which, if they were here right now, I'd be sitting here going, look at what I got. But it's back to -128. Take it away for us here, Gogster. Lightning at Wild.
Originally, I had Lightning on the card, team total over 2.5, but I'm gonna axe it. It's not gonna make the card here. The defense, the issue there, like I said it on Tuesday's show, Jim. They've called up 2 players here, Sean Day and Declan Carlisle. I'm butchering these names, but anyway, they called up 2 guys from Syracuse. So they only had 5 defense going last game, which was a big problem. I faded them in that game. But this game here, offensively, I'm still scared of this Tampa Bay team. And then defensively, looking at Minnesota, guys, they had Bogosian playing his former team here. He's on the second line. Their defense is quite weak. But offensively, I don't mind their pieces they have. I don't think it's going to be good enough to probably get the win here tonight, but I got a no play on this game. Looking at the goalies too, Vasilevsky's been pretty poor on the road. And then you got half their defense is going to be out of the lineup. So you got guys that are being called up. It's an ugly game, in my opinion. I'm going to completely stay off this one. I don't know where to go.
I don't mind the under 6. I mean, it's now -120 to the over here at 365. I don't mind it at all. And let's just see this quick team total here, and then we'll just move past it here. Team total under for the Wild, under 2.5 at +130. God, that's nice. That means you could get the under 3 for the Wild at a really nice price.
That might be I don't mind that look. I don't mind it, but yeah, it's a no play for me. No play.
I don't see where's the offensive talent now. There still is offensive talent, Boldy and stuff, but it's a pretty weak group here. I just want to take one last look here because this looks like a very possible addition here. So the Wild right now have scored. They scored 4. Oh, sorry. They've scored 5 goals in their last 3 games. Yeah, I'm going to take their Wild team total. I'm going to decide whether I want the score or the Pasafe 3. This will be an addition. I'm not going to take the under. And Vasilevsky has to stop playing the puck. Looks like an ass clown out there. He's the best goalie of our generation. Understand what you're good at.
Let's move on to that hip injury. He had hip surgery there, Jim. I think getting hip surgery and playing net, like just think of that, guys. Put 1 and 1 together. That's not easy.
Demko's had 2.
Yeah. It worked different for everybody, different for everyone, right? But I just think Vasilevsky, he just doesn't look he doesn't look like what being a Leaf fan. I've seen the best of Vasilevsky for years, and it's not the same.
Let's roll on. We are almost at college basketball time. Next up for me is another spot. I've told you guys that I want to fade the Capitals as much as possible. The same goes with the Islanders. Without Pulock and Pelech, this could be a really good hockey team. And maybe they end up being a good hockey team. They also have Bortuzzo out right now, so they're just devoid of anything on that back line except,
Dobson.
They have him on the power play is spectacular, but they have nothing else. And it's the defensive spots here. So I'm on the Coyotes here. I got them minus 103. And maybe when Pulock and Pelech come back, you might even want a future on the Islanders because they're going to get the players around Pulock and Pelech have gotten all this ice time and all these opportunities. And then you get your two stay-at-home, strong, tough, big defensemen back. But here, it's just you have to fade this team in this situation. You just have to. You can't miss these guys. Arizona opening up at plus 106. They went to minus 102. That happened quite right away. They were at minus 108 even at 5 p.m. yesterday. And I agree with this move towards them. I'm on the Coyotes here. I don't really want to back the Coyotes too often. This is a team where I think the market's actually a little higher on them than they probably should be. But I like them off a loss here. Sorry, I don't have the total up. Let me just grab the total here very quickly. And the total for this one is sitting at 6 minus 108 to the under. That's exactly where it opened, so no movement there. And Connor Ingram, 2.49 goals against average, 919 save percentage. It's unbelievable that Connor Ingram would be going up against Ilya Sorokin, and you'd say that the Coyotes have the better goaltender. Just right now. But that is the case right now. Both power plays are strong, and both penalty killing is somewhat weak, especially for the Islanders. Why is the Islanders penalty killing weak? They haven't had Pulock and Pelech for 6 weeks now, 5 weeks, and maybe they get more comfortable with them being out. But Islanders come off their second straight loss, 5-4 in overtime at Colorado on Tuesday. There are no comfortable fades of the Islanders. I've been fading them nonstop, and they're tight games that go down to the wire, but I'm going to keep fading them. The Coyotes come on after having their minus 3 winning streak snapped, a 4-1 loss at home to the Panthers on Tuesday. I love that the Panthers, a team who I think is top 5 in the league, beat you badly at home, and then the Islanders come in without their best 2 defensive defensemen. There we go. Take it away. I'm on the Coyotes. Take it away, Gogster.
Good point right at the end there, Jim. That makes you kind of want to sell on or buy on the Coyotes there. Defensively, just kind of like Tampa Bay. Yeah, they're missing 3 defensemen. 2 of them are their top defense, like Jimmy said. Coyotes are pretty much healthy. Boyd, K, Kolyachuk, I can't pronounce his last name. Starts with a K, long name. Hayton, he's going to be out too. But for the most part, this is going to be an offensive game, I think, Jim. Ingram, he did have I was just looking at his numbers here. He did have a shutout his last game against Anaheim, but against Colorado, he allowed 4. Against Ottawa, he allowed 3, got lit up early in that first period. I think there's going to be some goals here in this game. Full game over 6 minus 105 is where I'm going. Then you also read up the power plays. 70% for the Islanders on the road, 78% for the Coyotes. There's going to be goals, I think, in this game, guys. Even though Ingram, he has had his numbers are decent at home, but he kind of got pulled for a bit there, and Vejmelka came in and he was doing okay. But at one point, Ingram had a lot of starts. I don't expect him to kind of that 8-3, 924. Expect a little drop in that. And then Sorokin, he's got a 973 save percentage, doing the best he can, but too much injuries in the back end for the Islanders. But offensively, I still think they can score with this new coach they've had. They've been more of an offensive team, especially with their defense. So over 6 minus 105 is what I came up with in the lab.
Yeah, over 6 minus 105, locked and loaded. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Rematch of the Stanley Cup champs, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Stanley Cup Finals, I should say. Florida Panthers 23-12-2, 11-7-2 on the road. The Vegas Golden Knights 22-11-5, 13-3-2. 13-3-2 at home. They've been very good at home, but they haven't been playing good hockey lately. T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. Bobrovsky against Thompson. Thompson is not playing well right now. He's come back to earth in a pretty big way. 2.81 goals against average, 902 save percentage. Bobrovsky is playing better than he's played in years. He looks like the playoff run is kind of carried over. 2.44 goals against average, 912 save percentage. Both teams have really strong special teams. Florida 20% power play, 83.3% penalty killing. Vegas 22.2% power play, 81.8% penalty killing. North Ender says, looking at the Knights here, I get that. They're coming in their 5th loss in 6 games. In the outdoor classic for Seattle on Monday. they're playing bad. They're coming home against the team they had to beat to win the cup. I imagine they're going to be sharp here, but the Panthers have won 5 straight games, and they're just a juggernaut. Now, did they go out in Vegas last night? I mean, that's the only thing that would maybe concern me with the Panthers. But I fear Vegas, an angry Vegas squad. I mean, can you imagine that the Stanley Cup champs are underdogs at home against any team in the NHL when they're 13-3-2? It's pretty wild, man. There's JT Eel in the house. Happy New Year, my man. Great to see you.
Right.
So this just ends up being a stay off spot for me comfortably. This total here has moved to 6.5 from that 6. It's moved to 6.5 a couple times over at Pinnacle. It's back at the 6.5. Now it's heavily juiced to the under. Take it away for us here, Gogster. We got to be tight. Panthers, Knights.
All right, no play on this game, guys. What was I just going to say? I lost the train of thought. Not good. But Bobrovsky, Thompson, both their numbers have been really strong here. Panthers only guy Nick Cousins there got a concussion because he had another dirty hit, got hit, and didn't flop like a fish out of water. But in this game, yeah, short and sweet. I got nothing on this game. I'm not going to fade. I'm not going to fade this Vegas team right now, Jim. But then again, I'm not going to fade Florida. So it's going to be a stay away. Two top teams. Maybe lean to an under, but Aiden Hill's close to coming back. That's kind of when you're going to want to start backing unders in Vegas. So no play, but lean to the under. Florida's actually 9-1 to the under in the last 10. So that could be the play.
I'm off comfortably. Tough one. Let's move on to 10 p.m. Eastern. Ottawa Senators 14-19-0, 4-9-0 on the road. Seattle Kraken 15-14-9, 8-8-3 at home. We're climbing Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington. Eunice Corpusalo going up against Joey Decord, who's playing out of his mind. It's great to see a journeyman step up. We're seeing that with Martin Jones and the Leafs.
That's my guy, man. He sorry, Jim, to cut you off quickly. He was in Belleville for like 2019 when Batherson was there. We had Norris, we had Shabbat, we had everybody. And who was our goalie? Joey Decord. And we were first in the AHL there in the East, and then COVID happened and everything went to shit. So Joey Decord playing his former team too here, but good to see him finally get the starts he deserves.
Yeah, and flourishing. Ottawa power play 17.5%, penalty killing 71.4%. Seattle power play 20.5%, penalty killing 79.8%. I don't think there's a better situation to fade a team than after winning in the Outdoor Classic, but do I want to get in the way of this Kraken team that's won 5 straight? And I would love to figure out how to get on the Senators. So this is another problem. So a 5-game winning streak, a lot of teams have them. But every single one of these games have gone under. The Kraken are playing lights out defensive, and Decord is playing so well. Yeah. And that has me as much. I think the Senators are a bet on team. Now you could say, well, they're not a bet on team on the road. And maybe that's true. Maybe this is just you bet on the Senators in every home game for the rest of the season, except against like the Blackhawks, when they're going to be too big of a favorite. So this total is sitting here at 6.5 at -122. It's amazing that 6.5 when the Kraken are winning games playing unders. And then from a money line standpoint, it is so difficult for me not to bet the Senators here and fade the Kraken. Done a great job of fading the Kraken this year, but I am nervous to hear Ottawa's gone from +107 to +112. I think Ottawa's very live here, coming off their second loss of 3 games, that 6-3 loss of Vancouver on Tuesday. Take it away for us here, Gogster, Seattle, Ottawa.
I'm going to have to make an addition here. It's going to be Ottawa. I got a couple plays, but Ottawa first period, guys. That's going to be, I think that's the play, Jim. I'm going to take Ottawa first period, whatever the best number is. I'll tweet it out there, Gogster99. Actually, I'll find it here in a sec, Jim. But just Ottawa here, they got shellacked. 5 goals against your Canucks. That was just damn right embarrassing. Corpusalo should be going against Decord. Ottawa is going to put their best foot forward against Decord. Last time they played, it was 2-0 actually for Ottawa. That was back on December 2nd, Jim. Since that game, there hasn't been less than 6 goals. That's crazy. There hasn't been a couple times. Once there was 5, but there hasn't been less than 6 goals in every single one of Ottawa's games since then. And they're getting Shabbat back, but that's kind of why I think the overs rather than the under. It's more Ottawa's offense is going to dictate this, and defensively they're subpar, even though they're healthy. It should get better soon, but I think there's going to be goals here, even though Seattle. My worry would be maybe Seattle doesn't put their foot forward here, but I think Ottawa, they got a good shot here tonight, Jim. What I did is I took them already, guys, money line in the over 5.5. I do think Seattle's going to score here against Ottawa. They're playing good hockey, and then Ottawa on the other side getting shellacked last game. They did this last time, Jim. I forget who it was. That was one of these games they got shellacked and they put their best foot forward. It was Arizona. That was the game. They lost 6-3. Then they're up 3-0 or something in the first. I think we're going to get a really good showing. So I'll add the first period on Ottawa, guys, and then I'm taking full game over 5.5, tied in with the Ottawa Senators money line at a juicy plus 240 for y'all.
Yeah, I think I figured out, what to do with Ottawa. I'll cheer you on, but if you take out, they won at Toronto 6-3, and then they won at Toronto 4-2. We know how they play in Toronto. So then if you take those two games out, this Senators team has won 2 of 11 games on the road. And I just can't put my money on them if that's going to be the case. Yes, I think you found the perfect spot after them allowing 5 goals in the first period against Vancouver. But trying to catch a falling knife here, saying that the Kraken are, even though I love fading them off that outdoor win, I can't join you. And it was it was a cut from the short list, and I thought maybe if we talk it out, I might jump on, but I'm not going to. I will cheer you on, and that's you got a lot invested here. Senators first period, and then Senators money line in the over 5.5. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Detroit Red Wings at the Los Angeles Kings. Red Wings 18-16-4, 8-9-1 on the road. Kings 29-5, 7-7-4 at home. Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. Alex Lyon against Cam Talbot. Talbot continues to play very well, despite the Kings being on a 3-game losing streak, coming off that 3-0 loss at home versus the Leafs on Tuesday. I watched that game. They didn't really have a lot of opportunities, but we just watched another defensive clinic. I can't believe I'm saying that, by the Leafs last night in Anaheim. I stayed up and watched that whole game, and the snipe job by Austin Matthews was like fire. It's a video game. Like it was just too perfect. I mean,
whenever he goes to California, bet him to score. He did it again against Anaheim. He did it the other night, like Jimmy's saying. So whenever you got Matthews on the West Coast from Arizona, take him to score. He seems to love going back home out there. So
spreadsheet play of the day is the Seattle Kraken, backing the Kraken at this price. Kelly McInnes on the Kings on the puck line. I came close to taking the Kings on the puck line, and the line's moving against us. I don't care. If it's Detroit ready to go right now, Dylan Larkin in this Detroit power play is so strong with Moritz Seider. Nothing else concerns me on this Detroit team. And so I bet this twice. I doubled up on the -1 at -126. I was going to take the -1.5. I do not care that the lines moved against us at all. I don't care. This total is at 6.5, -114 to the under. It opened at -120 to the under, so there's been a slight move to the over. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Kings right now -189. They opened up at -180. They got up to -199. So there's been some buyback. Market moving slightly back to the Red Wings. God bless you guys. The Kings are an angry group, and they're so much bigger and tougher than the Red Wings. Too bad the Red Wings don't have Bertuzzi anymore. So I'm on the Kings -1. Slam dunk. Take it away.
Yeah. Detroit's starting to play better hockey. They're starting to score a little bit more now. So I'm taking the Kings 2 with Jimmy and the over 4.5 in this game. They're going to bounce back after those 3 games they've lost. They have a 3-game losing streak. They've done it one other time early in November. They came back with a 3-2 win at home. I think we're going to get at least over 4.5 goals. Like I said, Red Wings can score, and they are scoring. Leon's going to be going on the road, only his 4th road game. 907 save percentage, 286 goals against, which is decent, but you got a tough spot for the kid against the Kings here. And Talbot looks like he is human after all. His numbers on the road, 10, like 11-1-2 or something like that. At home though, 4-7-2, 908 save percentage and a 2.56 goals against. Great defensive team the Kings are, but I think Detroit will be able to score at least 2, and the Kings are going to be able to do the same. So give me the Kings and the Red Wings, Jimmy. Tie that in. Over 4.5 money line. It's going to be -125, guys. I was going to do kind of a Rangers Kings money line parlay, but ended up just kind of doing a little same game action on them. Look for the Kings to bounce back here.
Mikey M says mortgage payment play of the month. And he says he never says that, and he even likes the Kings -2.5.
You got to respect a mortgage payment.
Let's walk to the final spot on the board, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, heading into college basketball with Daby Cab. First up, we have Daby Cab Dave Rogers and Mikey Money and a ton of college basketball games here. So let's move on. And as confident as we are in that spot, there are no locks and there are no guarantees and nothing like that. But God, I'm confident in that spot with Mikey and with everybody. I couldn't care less. The market can go against us, do whatever it wants. 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Winnipeg Jets 23-9-4, 10-4-2 on the road at San Jose Sharks, who are now 9-26-3, but 6-10-2 at home. We're at the SAP Center in San Jose, California. Hellebuck versus Blackwood is listed. I'm not sure if that's the case. Hellebuck back to being a Vezina Trophy winner, and he's got a great team in front of him. Blackwood 4-14-2, 3.92 goals against average, 89 save percentage. Winnipeg power play 16.8, penalty killing 73.8. San Jose power play 19% and penalty killing 73.5%. If Winnipeg doesn't fix their special teams, there will not be a run to the Stanley Cup. But they're rolling. They're coming off their third straight win 4-2 at home versus the Lightning on Tuesday. So let's go back to what they have done here in front of us. So in their last 14 games, they have 3 losses. At the Sharks, at home versus the Habs, and at the Blackhawks. The 3 worst teams on their schedule are their losses. Now, you can say that because they lost at San Jose, they're going to come back here and play San Jose really tough. I do think that that's a little easier said than done. This is, let's just see quickly exactly how many people were at San Jose's last game, because they're only 50,000 fans, they say, in that area, and yet they all are like fervent supporters of the squad. They just played the Red Wings at home in a 5-3 loss, and 12,195 people were there. It was 69% full. Now Winnipeg's used to playing in front of nobody, but the idea that they're going to come in angry that they lost here at the Shark Tank last time and respecting the Sharks, I just don't really buy it. Sharks coming off their 9th straight loss, 5-3 at home versus the Sharks on Tuesday. I looked at the Sharks -1.5, and I was like, fuck it, I don't know. It doesn't. But take it away, Gogster. Final game on the board. We got college basketball next.
All right, I'll be quick here, guys. Winnipeg's probably this is the best goalie you're going to see. Some crazy stat for you here quickly. 13 of the last 14 of Winnipeg have held the opponent to under 2.5 goals. The only team that scored 3 was Montreal. And if you go all the way back to the 17th, there's only been Nashville and Edmonton only scored 3 goals. They haven't even allowed 4 goals against, I think, all damn year, which is insane. So this Winnipeg team is real, and we all know how challenged San Jose is. I want to add, this would make sense, guys. Team total under 2.5 for San Jose Sharks. It's only -129 too. I would think that'd be a lot more, especially those numbers I just listed off for how strong the team total under the opponent is for Winnipeg. Winnipeg's probably going to get this one done. Just playing really good hockey, and that's without Connor. Expect that power play to get a lot better too, Jimmy. This is one of the top teams, I think, in the NHL. Especially look at that number. They haven't allowed 4 goals, I think, guys, all year. I'm going to keep clicking here. If you just give me a second. Okay, once against Montreal. Montreal's had their number. Montreal.
All the bad teams.
Yeah, and then dating back to October 19th, they had the 5 goals against LA. But since then, they've been just, especially lately, lights out. So it would make sense, guys. San Jose team total under 2.5, -129. Not going to make the card, but I already got 7 games. That's where I'd look, though.
Yeah, I can't. I was just going to a 12,000 seat arena, a team that's on fire. Do they care that they lost to the Shark Tank last night? I don't know. I don't have that answer. They step up against the best teams and they lose against the worst teams. I'll cash my over 91.5 and move on. Let's review all action here and get into college basketball with Daby Cab. He's first up for us. I have 5 bets pre-show, and Gogster had, I believe, 6 or 7. So let's go over all of those. I have Bruins -1 at +109, Blues money line +127. None of these lines are going in my favor, and I don't care. Lightning -1 at +132, Coyotes -103, Kings -1 at -126. For my additions that I'm going to be moving on, I'm going to move on the under in Pittsburgh, Boston. I'm going to move on the Rangers first period -0.5. And I'm going to move on the Stars -1, and actually 4 spots. And Wild, I'll decide whether I want the team total under 2.5 or 3. Team total under 2.5 or 3, and I need Vasilevsky to step up. Gogster's action here, and then Gogster, can you give us your additions? But Gogster's action pre-show He moved on Buffalo money line and the over 4.5 at even money. Rangers regulation and Chicago team total under 2.5 at minus 130. Colorado, Dallas over 6.5 minus 110. Calgary, Nashville, no goal first 9 minutes and 30 seconds at plus 120. I did say Nashville is my addition, did I not? Why do I feel like I didn't mention that? Oh, because there's no asterisks beside it. Sorry, I'm adding Nashville. I'm just not sure how long I want to wait for the public to come in and bet Calgary. Islanders, Arizona over 6. Ottawa money line and the over 5.5. That's a plus 240 for a big score. Kings money line and the over 4.5 minus 125. And your additions were what, Gogster?
I am adding Ottawa first period money line plus 102.
Love it. And Gogster, PGA back in business today. Is there anything you want to let the chat know about, any action before it pops off?
Yeah, I'd love to, guys. I think it's popping off maybe any second here. Outrights, I got 3 outrights on the card here. It's going to be Morikawa, Cantlay, and Fitzpatrick. First-round leaders. These are always fun. Let me just bring it up here really quickly for you guys. I have Sung Jae Im as a first-round leader, which is coming up very shortly. I also have Tom Kim, 33-1, 30-1, 50-1 on Cam Davis. Seb Straka playing really good golf, 40-1, and then Russell Henley. I also have top 5s, top 10s, top 20s. I'll also be tweeting out golf picks. If you guys have been following me, it's been third year doing this now. So we've actually hit the last 2 years at this track, going for 3 in a row. And yeah, we're really hot, actually. If you guys want to know when to back us for golf, usually it's from January to February. That's my hottest time capping. So check us out there. And then shout out to TJ and everyone else that loves capping. Looking forward to capping the season with you guys.
I love it. Matty Ice just bet those 3 outrights, as well as Aberg, who was given out by Dan Kelly. Please follow Gogster at Gogster99. Gogster, we love you. Let's move into college basketball, and we were not good as a group. We have been succeeding in college basketball at the highest rate that I've ever been a part of. All the numbers for us have been very strong. And then we let you guys down yesterday. I went 1-2. Cabby went 0-2, and Mikey Money went 2-4. And we're all angry about it. We're all angry about it. We want it back. We want it back right now. So let's get it. Please welcome the star of college sports here on Pub Sports Radio, the star of Medicate Mondays, star of the Unmuted Mic, star of our Saturday live stream and our Saturday college basketball live stream and our All About the Hoops Wednesday night live stream from Dallas, Texas. Please welcome Mr. Daby Cab to the show. Cab, how are you, my man?
Oh, you said it, man. I'm not happy. I don't like losing, Jimmy. It fucks my entire night up. It ruins my sleep. But the good news is we get to come right back at it today. These 2 spots that we're going to talk about, I like a lot. And I'm even going to stay backstage when you, Mike, and Dave talk, because there's some other stuff that I might want to add to this card. But these 2 that I have right now, I like a lot. So let's get right back to it, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I tell you right now, bad days are going to happen, but we will come out on top. You have my word on that. We're coming out on top this year.
Oh yeah, and we've been. There's going to be days like this. We just move on. We were, both of us sitting way over 60%. I mean,
well, I fucked up and took Miami first half, knowing that I damn sure should have been on them full game at home. I will say one thing. I could have got a better line, but I did get a bet on Miami live during the show. It doesn't solve any of the problems for the 2 we lost, but I did throw it out there. I said, anybody who wants to be in All About the Hoops, Miami was plus 189 at halftime. They were down by 5. I think the last thing I said when I was on here with you, I was like, if they're down by 4 at half, maybe we can bet them. So I was like, man, I put that out there in the atmosphere. I caused that shit to happen.
Yeah, it happens. Let's not worry about it. Yesterday happened. It bothered us and it affected us. And now let's go get that cash. Matty Ice did cash with Miami full game as the Taint play of the day. He has given us the Taint play of the day, which we will discuss here. But let's get right to work at Daby Cab. We start 8 p.m. Eastern. Memphis Tigers, 11-2, opening up their American account at Tulsa Golden Hurricane, who are also making their opening up their conference account. We are in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Donald W. Reynolds Center. Let's get into the line history here. From a spread perspective, over at BetOnline, again, we're using our BetOnline numbers. They're first to the market. And if you need a new account, just go to our website, pubsportsradio.com. If you use our link, they will give you 100% bonus up to $1,000. And that's cash. That doesn't need to be Bitcoin. We're one of the few links that's the case for.
That's awesome.
At all the other spots, it's Bitcoin.
I thought it had to be Bitcoin. I didn't even know that.
No, you can put in cash. All right, let's go here. Memphis minus 8.5 is now got up to 10.5, got up to 10.5 and dropped down to 9, back up to 9.5. So this market's being all over the place. We still have a 1-point move towards Memphis. Let's take a look at the total here for this one. For our total, sorry, let me get this set up at 8 p.m. here. From a total standpoint, we're sitting here at a 154.5. This opened up at 151.5. It's gone up 3 points to 154.5. So we have a move to the over and a move to Memphis. We get over to the cash flow for this 8 p.m. starter. Let's get over here. Sorry, this will take a second. We have, come on, 70% of the tickets and 83% of the cash is on Tulsa. So we have a, public home dog, and 70% of tickets and 83% of cash are on them. Sometimes it's, we've seen a little bit of buyback once it's gone too far, but that surprises me. From a total standpoint here, 64% of the tickets and 71% cash is on the over. We have both of these teams have played since the Christmas break. Memphis played on Saturday night and, didn't look great. Looked a little sloppy. They beat Austin P at home, 81-70. They shot 22.2% from 3, and they were 20.5-point favorites, and they were only up 3 at the break. So I imagine that this is probably an easy coaching situation to get them to wake up here against Tulsa, who's won 4 straight. Just saw them, against the non-Div 1 opponent, Southwestern Oklahoma State. They beat them by 41 here, and it doesn't matter. But that was their warm-up game, I guess you would call it, since Christmas break. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab, your first game on the board, Tigers versus the Golden Hurricane.
Before I get rolling, man, shout out Kenny in the chat, Maddie, Chip, Justin, all you guys, man, rolling in. BT, we got always have a hell of a crew, but today we got a good one out there in the chat, man. Let us know what you guys are betting. Jimmy, one thing for me with college basketball, at the beginning of the season, you'll see these like massive favorites and they cover the spread, 25, 28-point favorites, and they cover because it's early, there's motivation. And then we get a couple weeks into the season, you start seeing these bigger spreads and they're not getting covered. I know this isn't up there. This is just sitting at 9 now. But this is another one of those larger spreads. And I like to look, first conference game of the season is motivation. I don't care who's playing who, right? Memphis will be up for this game. It's their first conference game of the season. And to me, that's important. You got to find motivation for it. And like you said, they're 11-2 on the season, but they looked a little lackluster last game. Beating Austin PV 81-70. That ain't it. You look at Tulsa on the other side, they're 9-3, 5-4 ATS. They haven't played anybody. Tulsa has not challenged themselves at any point in time throughout this entire season. And I have my doubts with this Tulsa offense. They're a very lackluster offense, and I don't think it can keep pace with Memphis flat out. The Golden Hurricanes, they're ranked 281st in offensive efficiency right now with a 51.5% effective field goal percentage. They barely shoot 60% at the rim, and that is an area where the Tigers excel. The Tigers' defense is only allowing opponents to score 53.5% of their shots at the rim, which is outstanding. Memphis has blocked 14.2% of its opponent's shots, that's a lot. They're 27th nationally in steals per game. So this defense can play. And like we said, I think they'll have a little extra motivation today. I think they're going to come out tough. Memphis, they're just now coming into form as a team also. I think this is a team to really look out for. Anybody that follows me knows I've been betting them the past couple years. I follow them pretty closely. And here, I think they cover against Tulsa. I took Memphis in the first half because I think they come out strong, and I got a good number at 4.5. I very likely will go ahead and get involved in the full game here also. I think this is just a runaway spot for Memphis.
Yeah, and you tweeted this out, right? I remember I
tweeted it out.
Here, let me go back to your situation here.
For anybody that wonders, Jimmy, there's only 2. I'm never going to sell picks. I don't do that shit. There's only 2 places, either right here on Betting with the Bag or on my Twitter. And I will always recap, win or lose, good or bad. It'll be right there. It's pretty easy to follow for you guys.
Minus 4.5 at minus 110 is the spot. And there's our guy picks from Dave. Dave Rogers in the house, saying that Mike can live with him if he loses on the Kings here with his mortgage payment play of the month here. And Jose Sierra talking about Detroit Mercy. That game will be broken down here on the show. Jose, I'd be curious to see what that is right now, the first half, because I agree with you. It's a good spot, with Tulsa coming off the non-Div 1 opponent. And then you have the whole, everybody betting Tulsa. And then, Memphis probably cost a lot of people money last week. And then you have an angry group here. The first half for Memphis across the board, minus fives. I'm okay with 5. Pinnacle minus 5 at minus 107.
Yeah, that's only a half-point move.
Yeah, I mean, you just have the push, which you have to deal with. Mm-hmm. I think this makes a ton of sense. They're going in against a Tulsa team that's 9-3. You got to step up right away. I'm going to spend a little bit more time, but I think that makes a lot of sense there. A possible addition for me. Let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. We have the number 19th ranked James Madison Dukes, 13-0, 1-0 in conference play in the Sun Belt at the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, 7-6. They lost their first game in the Sun Belt Conference action, Cajun Dome in Lafayette, Louisiana. Let's get over to the line history here for this spot. I had it all set up, but I just moved it for the first half, so that's going to take me a second here. While I'm doing that, let's get over to the full game total. From a full game standpoint, we are sitting here at 156.5, very high total. It's opened up at 156. We have a half-point move towards the over. And from a spread perspective, we are sitting here full game minus 5.5. Let's get over to Bet Online. Bet Online minus 5.5, minus 109. This went to 6.5 yesterday afternoon after it'd been out for about an hour and 15 minutes. It stayed there for 6 hours before it moved back to 5.5 here. So that is the situation. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 56% of the tickets, 54% of the cash on James Madison. No information on the money or tickets on the total. And then when we get to the X's and O's or the rest situation, James Madison, both teams have played since the break. Louisiana looked really bad at Marshall. James Madison took care of business against Texas State, won by 17. They're rolling right now. But that was an ugly loss at Marshall. They shot 32.8% from the field, the Raging Cajuns, and 22.7% from 3. I mean, just horrific. They were just 2.5-point dogs. They were down 14 at the break. Very interesting spot here. Take it away for Daby Cab, James Madison, Louisiana.
Shit, I hate seeing Matty Ice say he's got a big play on the other side of me here. You look at this Louisiana team. You talked about that last loss. That was their fourth loss in 6 games. They've just been rough. I mean, I know they're 7-6 overall, but like I said, they've lost 4 of their last 6 games. They're 0-1 in the Sun Belt here. This Cajuns team, they're above average in scoring offense, putting up 77.1 points per game this year. That's 135th in the nation. They collect 33.3 rebounds per contest. They're giving out 13.3 assists. Down low, I like to, in college basketball, if a team moves the ball, you want to see their assist. If a team doesn't have a high assist rate as a unit, they're not gonna create very many opportunities. Also, you want to see how they match up down low. These two teams don't match up down low. If you look at the rebounding, so we look at the Raging Cajuns, they're just averaging 315th in the nation right now in rebounding, whereas you look on the other side, JMU is 42nd in the nation. And I talked about those assists also. JMU 24th in the nation, while the Cajuns are only 196th in the nation. So those are 2 big points for me when I look at college basketball. I know Louisiana's coming home, and after shooting so bad, this is a spot where if you're going to back a team, you want to back them coming home after a terrible shooting performance. I get it. But they're going to have a hard time slowing James Madison down, and that's the thing for me here. James Madison is 3rd in the nation in scoring offense, and the Raging Cajuns have only been average on the defensive end of the floor right now, and they're coming against a Duke's team that is 20th in the nation in field goal percentage, 16th in the nation in 2-point percentage at 58%, and 65th at 3-point percentage on this year. This team can score up close. They can score from deep. They move the ball around. They get rebounds. James Madison can flat play. That's it. They're an explosive offensive team with plenty of options to choose from. So for that reason, I think they're going to get ahead early here, especially on the road. You got to get ahead early on the road. So I took James Madison here in the first half, -2.5.
First half look interesting. TJ thinking it's a JMU spot as well. It's funny that he does because I think this is obviously the biggest game of the season thus far for Louisiana, and they're coming off a train wreck performance. So I can see why Matty Ice thinks that they're going to step up here.
If let's say they had won 4 of their last 6 games and then they had a really bad outing, I'd feel different about this as a bounce back spot. But the fact that it's kind of been a trend for them in their last 6 games, it's not just a one game. It's not a one-off where they just, went out there and shit sheets for one game. They've been playing below average for the last 6 games here.
Yeah, I mean, it's ugly loss against McNeese and La Tech and Sanford. But yeah, I mean, they've barely played at home this year. They barely played at home. They haven't lost a home game yet, but I mean, they barely played. So they had Eastern Kentucky at home on December 13th, and they had Youngstown State to start the year at home. Those are the only Div 1 home games. The other were neutral site spots. So it's hard to believe that this team now 2 full months in has played 2 home games against Div 1 opponents.
And, most of these schools, especially the better schools like in the Power 5 conferences, they load up their home schedule early on in the season so that they're really comfortable on their home court. How comfortable are they on their home court if they haven't even been playing on it?
I mean, that's true, but it also that's a possibility. Also, it says we don't really know what they are at home, if they're strong at home, because we do know that the Cajun Dome can be a place that's packed at times. Let's find out. Eastern Kentucky, obviously not. This is going to be a huge opponent, but what did they draw against Eastern Kentucky? Nobody. They drew nobody at that game. So when was that? Was that right around? Maybe this was around Christmas time. Sorry, let me just see it. No, it wasn't. December 13th. So nobody went to that game. 1,417 fans of 12,000. I wonder. We have guys from the area. I wonder how many people they think are going to be here for this one. But let's move on here. Your Cap first half and them coming out firing. Their home opener was only in front of 2,000 fans and 12,362. So maybe I'm getting a little carried away with what
Jesus, we had more people than that at my baseball games at Tech. That's sad. Yeah.
So I have but now they have a ranked opponent coming in undefeated. But I don't know. I can't tell you what that's going to do. But I am interested in Louisiana. Let's lock you in here. Your first half spot. You got the. Oh shit! I didn't send the. Sorry. I got to send Dave Rogers. I did not send Dave the announcement that he's in. Why don't you just?
Here, I got it. You do that. I'll send the link. I got you.
Oh, he's got the link. He's just sorry. Call time now. My bad. Okay, call time.
I do like giving you the games that we're going to bet before, but one thing I do miss is sometimes I'd be right there on a cap when we'd go over a game, and I'd get to that point where I'm ready to bet it when we talk about it here with you guys in the chat.
Well, jump on. You can sit here and listen to the other games. And if there's something that you want to jump on, just put it into the private message and we'll get you locked and loaded here. First half, -2.5 at -115. Mikey M and Matty Ice on the Cajuns. TJ and Cab on James Madison. But Cab just has him first half. So just first half, the home team can get rolling. The Fixers in says, how will JMU react to no crowd? There's going to be a crowd.
They'll show up.
They got to be at least 4,000, 5,000 people there, I'm guessing. But we need someone that really knows what's going on. This is a huge game, for this school. But all right, Cab is locked in. First half -2.5 at -115 for James Madison, and then Memphis first half -4.5 at -110. Cabby, excellent work. The live stream for you on Saturday.
Oh, big one.
Coming Saturday is huge. North Carolina, Clemson, right after the Jeff Nadu show here on Pub Sports Radio. So that's going to be huge. I look forward to that. And then you're going to be joining us for Monday, the national championship. Any last words here, Cabby, for the Cappers supporting the show?
Man, you guys in the chat, I love doing this, and it's because of you guys. It's because of Jimmy here, and it's because of you guys in the chat. We keep bringing it up over and over and over again, but it's 10 weeks away now, Pubapalooza 3. If you can get there, get there. March 22nd through the 24th, we're going to have a blast. Get yourself a hotel or an Airbnb close to Southtown 101, and we'll be at the bar betting, drinking, smoking, eating good food, having a hell of a time while we're in San Antonio. Like I said, get your tickets. Get down there. I want to see you guys there. Also, we just released, shout out to my guy Jose, we just released a shirt for Medicate Mondays. So if you are a fan of the sesh, if you tune in on Mondays, we have a shirt out there. It's pretty awesome. I like it a lot. Shout out to the guys that put it together, T and Jose. But that's it, Jimmy. Love you guys in the chat. Love you, Jimmy. Let's make some money today.
Let's get that cash. Our man, Daby Cab, in the house. It is time for Dave Rogers. He is not ready to rock for us. Dave Rogers not here. So we'll see if Mikey Money can jump in and replace Dave at this point. While that's being figured out, if Mikey can jump on with us. Is he in the chat still? Let me send a message here. We can talk about the taint play of the day. The taint play of the day is in. It is a Lipscomb. Lipscomb is the taint play of the day, -1.5. And he also said that he likes the Raging Cajuns in that breakdown of the taint play of the day. But taint play of the day is in. It is Lipscomb -1.5. And shout out to sweet taint. All right, we're gonna get see if Mikey Money can jump on with us. Oh, and Dave is here. Okay, Dave is here now, so Mike can wait. Let me just tell Mike's now backstage. Mikey, it's good. Dave is here now, so we can keep the regular rotation. But thank you for being ready so fast. But we'll keep you on your regular rotation. All right, let's bring on our next guest, star of the Picks from Dave YouTube channel. He's come in with 3 spots that he is attacking here on this college basketball card. So without further ado, from Arizona by way of California, please welcome Dave Rogers to the show. Dave, how are you, my friend?
I'm great. Sorry, I was a little late. My computer decided to make me restart it, so I'm here.
It's all good. Let's get to work, my friend. Let me set a couple things up. You got Cleveland State, Wright State, Eastern Illinois, UT Martin, San Diego, UC San Diego, and UC Santa Barbara on the docket. You're coming off a 2-2 day last week, down 0.14 units. You've been very consistent, but we got to get you hot, and we're coming off a losing day as a group. Let me get this set up for us here for the next start. How did last night go for you in college basketball?
College basketball, I believe I went 2-1. I need to go back and look. I'm pretty sure I went 2-1.
All right. Well, let's get you heated up right here and let's roll. All right. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland State 10-5, 3-1 in the horizon. Already have played 4 games here in the horizon. We're at the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio, home of the Wright State Raiders. Let's take a look at the rest situation. Cleveland State on a 4-game winning streak just beat IUPUI on the road, wins against Oakland and Western Michigan before that. And then they'd already gone into Bradley and taken them out. They lose at Kent, and we've seen what Kent can do. They're a pretty good basketball team. So 4 straight wins since then. Wright State's losers of 2 straight. They both just played on Sunday. They both have played 2 games since the break. So they're locked and ready to go. Wright State right now is scoring 83.5 points per game on the season. They're a high-scoring outfit. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with here, line history-wise. And we have at BetOnline Wright State as 5.5-point favorites. They open up as 4-point favorites. They got up to 6.5-point favorites, but now 5.5. So they moved back, half-point moved back towards Cleveland State about 2 hours ago. So still a 1.5 move towards Wright State. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with from a total standpoint here. From a total look, we have a 161.5. We talked about what Wright State can do offensively, and Cleveland State can score as well. This opened up at 164.5, though, so we've dropped 3 points down to 161.5. And from a cash flow situation here, let's get this up. Let's see what's going on with the money. Sorry, take me 1 second here. It's taking a second. So why don't we just fire away at the breakdowns, and then I'll see if... Oh, here we go. Sorry. 64% of the tickets and 66% of the cash is on Wright State. And this total that's dropped 3 points as 50-50 with the tickets and 58% of cash on the under. So it must be, real sharp action or gamblers that the books respect that are on this under that have pushed it 3 points down. Take it away for us here. Dave, your first bet on the board, Cleveland State, Wright State.
Yeah, I'll start with Wright State. They're an offensive team. They score 82 points a game, actually 82.3. That's 34th in the country. They have a high effective field goal percentage, 56.7%. That's 18th in the country. That's very, very high. Again, that's out of 362 teams. And they can shoot free throws, 90th in the country at just under 74%. And Cleveland State, they're not an offense, they're not a horrible offensive team. 74.9 points per game, and they can shoot threes. But here's why I like Cleveland State in this game, and why I don't understand why it's a 2-possession line. Doesn't make sense to me. Wright State doesn't play defense. They're 345th in the country. They give up 83 points a game, again, out of 362. Absolutely awful, while Cleveland State is slightly above average at 72, but definitely a nod to the defense for Cleveland State. And really the main reason why I like Cleveland State is Wright State doesn't cover spreads. They're 0-5 the last 5 ATS, and they lost 2 outright. Of those 5, 2 of the times they were favorites, they lost outright. And it was to teams that aren't nearly as good as Cleveland State: Wisconsin, Green Bay, and Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Cleveland State, on the other hand, they're covering 5-1 last 6, and they've beaten good teams like Ohio and Oakland. So when you're looking at that, none of it really makes sense in this game, which, makes you scratch your chin. But when I dove into it, I don't see anywhere to me where Wright State should be a 5 or 6 point favorite. So I'm taking the points with Cleveland State.
Let's grab those for you. Cleveland State on the spread. There's a 6 available at Bovada. It's at the Lone and at Pinnacle. So it's minus 110 at both. So let's give you that. So we have a move on the dog, 3-1 in the horizon. Cleveland State +6 at minus 110 for Dave Rogers. Let's move on to the next spot on the board for you. 9 p.m. Eastern Illinois Panthers 0-1 to start out their conference play in the OVC at UT Martin. Skyhawks 9-6, 2-0 in the OVC. We're in Martin, Tennessee for this one. Let's see what we have line history-wise here. This game pops off at 9 p.m. Eastern. And here we go. We have UT Martin sitting here at minus 9.5. They opened up at minus 10.5 and got down to 9. There's been a half point of buyback, but a 1 point move towards Eastern Illinois. Let's take a look at the total here for this one. Over here, Eastern Illinois, a point move towards them. And on the total, we're sitting here at 151. This opened up at 150, went up to 151, back to 150, and up to 151. So a 1 point move towards the over. So a point towards the over and a point towards the dog. 19% of the tickets are in Eastern Illinois and 74% of the cash. Feels like a sharp spot here on this dog. But we need to hear what Dave has to say about that. From the total scenario, 25% of tickets and 73% of cash on the under, but dropped a point and came back, and it's right where it left off. So, or did I say there'd been a point to the over? Sorry, let me just verify that. Yeah, so 1 point move to the over. So bigger bets coming in on the under and a 1 point move to the over. And then from a rest standpoint here, you have UT Martin coming off their 3rd straight win. They last played on Saturday, and then Eastern Illinois played on Friday, their 2nd straight loss. So they got crushed at Iowa State, 80-42. Did not look good in that road game. Came back and lost at SIU Edwardsville. In that one, they shot 30.6% from the field and 21.4% from three. They looked awful. 8.5-point dogs, and they lose by 9. And so take it away for us here. Eastern Illinois Panthers, UT Martin Skyhawks. Do you agree with the bigger bets that have been placed on the Panthers?
Well, I don't have a play on the side in this game. It's going to be on the total. But Eastern Illinois, and here's what I got. Eastern Illinois is one of the lowest scoring teams in the country. 60.4 points per game. That's 353. Again, 362 schools. Very, very low. Their defense is serviceable. Give up 70 points per game. That's 136. They're slightly above average as far as scoring defense. And they're super, super slow. 67.4 possessions per game. That's how you measure pace of play in college basketball. 323rd. Slow team. Defensive team, not high scoring. That's how they play. 10 games versus D1 opponents this year and only 2 overs. Those totals closed very, very low. Those 2 overs, 137.5 and 134. And that's kind of where all of the totals for Eastern Illinois sit. On the other hand, you have a completely opposite team. Christopher Comantini said it. UT Martin is an over go-to, and here's the reason why. They play really fast. In fact, they play the 4th fastest of any team in the country, 79 possessions per game. They score 81.5 points per game, which is 40th, and they give up a lot of points, 84.5. It's 349. So offensive team, no defense. They play fast. 12 games against D1 opponents. 7 of them have gone over. But here's the deal. What are they going to do all the scoring? So I guess if I'm going to pick a side in this or lean towards a side, it's going to be UT Martin. But usually what happens in these types of games between a fast team that scores a lot, high octane versus slow methodical team, usually it isn't the slow methodical team that has to step up and is able to step up, which I don't think Eastern Illinois can do. One of two things happen. Either the fast team blows the hell out of the slow team, or the fast team's forced just by the nature of how the other team plays to slow down. So when you have a team in Illinois that's average total is in the mid 130s that plays this slow, I don't think it matters how fast UT Martin wants to play or does play. They either score all the points and this goes under, or they slow down because they have to, and this goes under. So I'm on the under.
The under here for our guy Dave Rogers. Let's see what we can get you on that under. Do we have a 151.5 anywhere? We don't. But we can give you the under 151 with regular old Vig. In fact, we can beat that bookmaker minus 105. So we'll get you the under 151 at minus 105 for Dave Rogers. Let's roll in that Joe T liking the over in this UT Martin.
Yeah, a lot of people liking the over. If the game goes over, I think UT Martin absolutely crushes them. So I think.
And I thought I'd copied and pasted Joe T's thoughts here. I don't know why I can't seem to find them right now. Okay, let's roll. Maybe I did it at the bottom. We'll see. Let's roll into your final spot on the board here. 10 p.m. Eastern. Dave, UC San Diego Tritons 7-6, 1-0 in the Big West. At UC Santa Barbara Gauchos 7-5, 0-2 in the Big West. We're at the Thunderdome in Santa Barbara for this one. We just saw the Tritons up against Cal State, Bakersfield at home. They beat them 76-64. They were 7.5 point favorites. They covered comfortably. They were up 11 points at the break. So that is the Tritons. They've won 2 of their past 3 games here. They lost at Cal by just 4 before looking good against Bakersfield. Santa Barbara has lost back-to-back games. They lost at UC Davis, and UC Riverside was the last one by 2. The Gauchos in this one were 2.5 point favorites and lost to Riverside. Let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow from a spread perspective here. We're sitting at a 5.5 at Bet Online, minus 5.5 and minus 115 for UC Santa Barbara. This opened up at 5. This been all over the map, but the first move was heavy towards San Diego. Now we have a 0.5 point move to Santa Barbara, but this was a 4 as of 3 hours ago. But we still have a 0.5 point move towards Santa Barbara. And then from a total side of things here, we have it sitting at 147, juice to the over. This opened up at 144.5, so we have a big move to the over. And then cash flow wise for this one, 79% of the tickets and 85% of the cash on UC Santa Barbara. It's a lot of bets on them for it to drop twice down to 4. We don't have any information on the total other than what we're seeing in the marketplace. And in the marketplace, we see it go from 144.5, all the way up to 147. We don't have any cash or ticket information. Take it away for your final game on the board, the Thunderdome in Santa Barbara, Dave.
Yeah, so the Tritons, UC San Diego, their offense is okay. They score about 71 points a game, but really they're a defensive team. Under 68.9 points per game given up. And one thing that's notable that we should all take more note of in looking at a team is the opponent's free throw attempts per game, which basically means not only are you not getting in foul trouble for whatever reason, they're not getting enough fouls to push them to the bonus. So I'm really going to start looking at not just fouls, but free throw attempts, which basically means UC San Diego is not giving up cheap points or not allowing their opportunities to have cheap points. Out of 11 games against D1 opponents, 8 of them have gone under, so 8-3 to the under. And they play slow too, another slow-paced team, 69.3 possessions per game, 279th in the country. And UCSB, they play, and by UCSB is what Southern Californians call UC Santa Barbara. So if I slip in there, that's what it is, UCSB, UCSD. UCSB plays a bit faster, 72.8 possessions per game, which is 121st in the country. And they're more of an offensive team, 75 points per game. They give up 75. So a little bit faster, a little bit more of an offensive team. But of their last 10 games, or of the 10 games they've played against D1 opponents this year, only 5 have gone over. And 3 of those were the first 3 games of the year. So their last 7 games, there's only been 2 overs. And of all 7 of those games, the average number is 147. Well, where are we at here with this? That moved late last night before I gave you my plays. I think 144 is where it should be. I think it's a possession too high. So that move, along with this breakdown, put me on the under in this game.
The under. Let's lock that in for you, and you're getting a great number now. So can we get you a hook on that 147? Yes. No, we can't. That's not a real book. Well, it's a real book, but a dodgy one. Okay, under 147 at minus 105. And under 147 minus 105. You are locked in. Under 147 minus 105 for Dave Rogers. I am going to move on Eastern Illinois. I know that almost 4 out of every 5 tickets is on UT Martin, but the fact that they the one thing I know, we talk about the pace for Eastern Illinois, is they don't turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming off a game where they shot unbelievably bad. And maybe they're just bad, and that's legit. Their shooting numbers are bad, but they were horrific last game. And they didn't cover by a half point. They shot 30% from the field and didn't cover by a half point. If they shoot 40% from the field, now the Skyhawks can run them, off the floor. But I think they're and under 147 minus 103 at Bookmaker. Thank you, Billy, my friend. Mikey, Mike here, not Mikey Money, but Mike in the chat is on the other side of this total. But under 147 at minus 103 for our guy Dave Rogers. He's on the under 51 at minus 105 in Eastern Illinois UT Martin, and he's on Cleveland State plus 6. And that Cleveland State plus 6 vouched for by a couple people. Matty Ice on Cleveland State, and Chili Dog Dooley floor seats at Cleveland State. Says, enjoy watching this team. Dave is right. Pressure defense will be a problem for Wright. So I'm going to take a closer look at that Cleveland State spot. We'll be on Eastern Illinois, and we'll be on the Ragin' Cajuns full game at this point. We'll see what else I add. Shout out to our guy BT, renewing his membership of Weeby Pub, and it means a ton to us. Dave Rogers, excellent work. Tell us a little bit about what's going on. Picks from Dave YouTube channel, Nerd Talk Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, tell us a little bit also and more about what's going on.
Yeah, so Nerd Talk, I have a YouTube channel. It's Picks from Dave. We run a show called Nerd Talk. Was just Fridays, and I went to Wednesdays. We're just going to do it Wednesday through Friday. There's just too much action going on to not do that. So we'll have there, and a lot of the same faces you see are on the show. Mike coming up is on the show quite often, but that's at Picks from Dave on YouTube. Also got a Twitter, and and Instagram, which I don't use that often, but it's all picks from Dave, spelled normally, all one word. And thanks, guys. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Ramon, backstage, and thanks to the chat. Love you guys. Best of luck. Let's cash.
There he is, Dave Rogers. You can follow him on X at Picks from Dave. Let's bring on our next guest. Both, Daby Cab and Mikey and myself. We were couldn't wait to get back on the show today. We did not deliver yesterday. Mikey went 2-4 here on our show. Still sitting 16-15, now down 0.29 units here. And, our guy, Mikey Money, this is his whole world. He needs to deliver. He needs to deliver for himself, and he badly wants to deliver for all of his friends and colleagues. So we're ready to rock. Please welcome the star of Last Call, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. right here. We're all going to get the chance to hang out with him for the first time at Pubapalooza. Please welcome from the dirtiest of Chesters, and I mean dirty Chester, Rochester, New York City. Please welcome Mikey Money to the show. Mikey, how are you?
Jimmy, the bag. What's going on, my guy? How we doing?
I like this card very much. I like this card very much, and I can't wait for the roller coaster of glory to unfold this evening. But I want to be in with the right side, and I didn't feel like I delivered on the hard courts last night, so I'm ready to rock here. And you got a really great game to get us started. Are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
I sure am. I can't wait to get back to it. Yeah, yesterday's college hoops was not where we wanted it to be. The two games that I really liked, we hit on, and the rest of them were just puke. So let's get back to work here. Let's roll up our sleeves. I almost texted you last night. I was like, Jimmy, go outside and put your hands out because I just puked my nuts up and they're flying across Lake Ontario. I need you to catch them and bring them back to me. But let's go. Let's bring it back in. Let's have it.
Let's roll. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern with the Penn State Nittany Lions, 7-6, 1-1 in the Big Ten at the Michigan State Spartans, 8-5, nary a victory in the Big Ten for them. 0-2. We're at the Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan. Now, Michigan State coming off 4 straight wins. The Baylor win was impressive. Won by 24. Beat Oakland by 17. Beat Stony Brook by 44? Is that right? Jesus, 44. Beat Indiana State by 12. So they haven't had, real tough competition here. Penn State beat Rider by 27. They're playing weaker competition, but they've had the tough tests. They lose in overtime at Maryland. They win against Ohio State by 3. They lose by 1 to Georgia Tech in overtime. Both teams have had the game since the Christmas break to get the cobwebs out and should be ready to rock and roll. Let's get into the line history here for this one and take a look at the cash flow. Line history-wise, we are sitting here with Penn State as 13-point dogs. Bovada's moved it to 12. This opened up yesterday at 2:43 p.m. at BetOnline, and it's not moved 1 cent. So maybe it's a very sharp line at 13. Let's take a look at the total here for this one. The total is sitting here at 145.5. It's actually moved to 146.5. I apologize, 146.5. This opened up at 145, got up to 146.5, and actually 13 minutes ago, in fact, it moved back down to 145.5. So it's only a half-point move towards the over. So must be sharp lines here. 57% of the tickets just moved to 58% of the tickets and 65% of the cash is on Penn State. And then 64% of the tickets and 51% cash is on the under. Take it away for us here, Mikey Money, Nittany Lions, Spartans, in East Lansing.
It should be an exciting game. These two teams clearly, Big Ten battle, going to be a lot of fun. You look at this Michigan State team with Tom Izzo, and they kind of have that roller coaster where they have a good season and then a couple of suspect seasons followed up with another good season. And to start this season off, they were ranked very high nationally. Across the country, there was a lot of high hopes, and then they went and they kind of hit the buzzsaw and they lost 5 games in a row to kind of get their season rolling there. On the other side of things with Penn State, certainly not impressive. Five losses in a row in their own right, but there was a big changing in the guard for Penn State this year, and a lot of, I think, the overlooked factor here is Mike Rhodes comes in from VCU. If you remember VCU, A-10 team that had that incredible run in the tournament, beating a lot of teams, going deep, had distance, had depth, and stayed calm, cool, and collective in terms of, overtime games. And That's the kind of Mike Rhodes style they bring in. So they're certainly not going to shy away from the opportunity for Michigan State. I think, in fact, it's the opposite. The fact that Michigan State's won 4 games in a row to me says we're getting a great kind of sell high opportunity on Michigan State and that potential buy low with the Penn State boys here. You also look at the situation, Penn State kind of brought in, I was trying to think of a team that it kind of reminds me of here, but it's almost like the proverbial super team that we're seeing in the NBA. So, Mike Rhodes comes over from VCU. He brings his big man and his leading scorer, Ace Baldwin. Guys, leads the Big Ten this year in steals. That's going to be a big factor when it comes to the matchup and who he's out there against. Also, they got DeMarco Dunn and Puff Johnson. Both those guys like playing together so much at UNC, but for whatever reason didn't want to be part of the rebuilding regime at UNC. Where'd they decide to go? Highly recruited and decide to come into Penn State. Then you look out there and, Zach Hicks is kind of a leftover, 10 points and 5 rebounds, per night when he was at Temple. And certainly 1,000-point scorer in Leo O'Boyle with Lafayette. They brought all these guys together, and the early part of the season was the stumble. Takes a little bit of time to stumble. Go back, look at the LA Clippers. They get over there, they bring in James Harden. They suck for 4 or 5 games. Now they're whooping up at everybody. And I think there's an opportunity for that here as you kind of compare the movement in the transfer portal and who it's affected the most. I think a lot of opportunity for this coach to put his program in place, get the boys humming. And I think this is just a case of too many points. Penn State forces a lot of turnovers. They don't give up a lot of turnovers. They shoot their free throws well. I know Dave was just talking a little bit about the free throw percentages and opportunities. And when you look at their battle-tested nature, I know it didn't necessarily work out for us yesterday as we were looking at the ACC, but in the Big Ten, Penn State went into Maryland, had an overtime game in Maryland on the road. So certainly not a team that's going to, get scared of the opportunity. And then if you look at the matchup on the other side of things with Michigan State, Tyson Walker's the big man. They got a nice trio package out there with AJ Hoggard and Jaden Akins. But, the thing about that is Tyson Walker is going to be the guy that's going to have to match up with the number 10 guy in the country in steals against Penn State. And he's a selfish prick. He shoots 15th most times in the nation. He's averaging 20 points a game. The rest of the squad in AJ Hoggard, Jaden Akins, and Malik Hall are only averaging 31.9 points a game. To me, you got a team. What do they like to do? Their 5th highest percentage of shots at the rim when they get the types of shots they want. The glory shots, the layups, and the dunks. But they're 40th lowest in the nation when they have to shoot everywhere else. So, I think it's an opportunity to frustrate Tyson Walker. You're going to frustrate this guy down. You're not going to be shooting those layups and dunks. You're going to have to go out there and play some ball. And Penn State's going to be ready to load for bear. I think it's going to be an opportunity for a statement win here. And Tom Izzo, seems like one of those guys that gets angry and abusive on the sidelines. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get in a couple of players' faces, probably Tyson Walker's face when it comes down to it in this game here. And too many points. Give me the 13.5 for Penn State.
Can't get you those 13.5s anymore. Can't get you a 13. I agree with this take. And look at, the tough competition that Penn State has played. Maybe they're not as tough as the Spartans, but they're close and they've been in all those games. So I like where you're at here and looking at the slight move towards them. And then I've got the Green Bay Detroit game set up because I know that's your next game, but I'd like to take another look at
I still have a 13.5 out there with FanDuel minus 110.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, let's get you that. Yep. Thank you. Always mention that. They're perfect. Okay. So there still are 13.5s out there. I agree with the take. I think they can stay in this basketball game. I mean, we're not asking them to win it. We're asking them to fight hard here. You have 58% of the tickets and 65% of the cash. So there's enough people that believe they're alive and moved on them. This all makes sense to me. So I'm going to join you on this one. I think they can stay within the number. Let's roll on to the next spot.
If you want the proof source and that things are working for the squad, go back and look at the last 4 of the 5 games they've played. They've been scoring 75, 80, 85 points, increasingly getting that combination right with those bigs and the guys that transferred in. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys as they roll through Big Ten and slap some of these teams in the mouth that are probably fat and happy in terms of where their position is in the Big Ten. So Penn State's not just a spot tonight, but I think they're going to make some noise kind of down the long stretch.
I'm interested. And can you believe that round 1 of the NCAA tourney will all be sitting together at the Southtown 101? I mean,
that's awesome. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot. And it's going to, it's one of those opportunities. It runs all day. It's going to be a great time to be there. I'm sure I will be highly intoxicated by the second game, and we'll see how long I can keep it rolling.
Yeah, and if anybody gets bored, $100 a game, an NBA Jam will be on the far left television right there. All right, let's move on to the next spot, tournament edition, of course. Next spot on the board, Green Bay, Phoenix, 8-7, 3-1 in their horizon at the Detroit Mercy Titans, 0-15, 0-4 in the horizon. Who's going to Callahan Hall these days in Detroit, Michigan? Maybe nobody. But they are just 3-point dogs here. Bovada's moved it to 2.5. They opened as 4.5-point dogs, and the line's been moving towards them. This was at midnight. The Detroit Mercy Titans were just 2-point dogs. So they're sitting here with a 1.5 move towards this 0-15 basketball team. Let's take a look at the total here for this one. The total for Detroit Mercy Green Bay is 132. It opened up at 133. It's dropped a point to 132. Let's get over to the cash flow here. 45% of tickets and 72% of the cash is on Green Bay. Very strange with the market move towards Detroit. So Detroit only has 28% of the cash. 33% of tickets and 69% of cash on the under. So here we go. We have Detroit coming off with the IUPUI loss was, a tough one. We knew people here in the chat who were on the other side. Now, we had people on both sides. Clearly, the market was saying that IUPUI was going to take care of business. But after that loss to IUPUI, they go into Purdue Fort Wayne. Now, the Mastodons are 13-2 on the year, 13.5-point dogs, and they were in it for the first half. They were only down 5 at the first half, and then they got completely destroyed. They turned the ball over 24 times in that game, the Titans. The Mastodons turned it over 7 times, so they just got completely run through the ground. Now, Green Bay's won 3 straight. They beat Wright State by 9, one of those wins. Their last win was on Sunday. Both teams just played on Sunday. They beat Robert Morris. They beat the Colonials by 17. They were only 3.5-point favorites. They shot 53.7% from the field. Noah Reynolds went for 27. So they're playing some good ball here. It's a fishy line. A fishy line. Take it away for us here, Mike. Green Bay, Phoenix, Detroit Mercy Titans.
Could you fucking imagine being in the city of Detroit right now? I mean, but the Red Wings are your highest hope right now. The Pistons are getting pissed on. I guess the Lions. I guess I don't want to discount the Lions, but here you go with this Detroit Mercy team on top of it. And 16 straight losses for these fucking scrubs. I can't believe it. And it's really impressive to see a team lose that many times. And I think it's that breaking point. So the money coming in on the other side of it, they've lost 10 times in a row against the conference. I've said this on the last call. That 10 spot is a teeter point for me. When you start seeing 10 in a row, yeah, this team's really bad, but just the law of averages says you're not going to lose again and again and again. So I think Detroit's live. And I think either way in this game, either they come out here and they win this game outright, against a team that's averaging 140 points a game, which would be 136 points a game for Green Bay. If they're going to win this game outright, they're going to have to get out there and get theirs. On the other side of it, though, you look back and you see Detroit's averaging 140 points in their games. They're getting blasted. They let up 91 points, as you just talked about. The IUPUI spot there was a 67-55 game. They played NC State. They got blasted by 83. They played a Central Michigan team that's nothing to write home about. They got blasted 75-63. And then they play a Loyola team. They get toasted 76-56. So, the teams that they're playing against are scoring. And to me, I love this little pivotal spot there and saying, here's a team that should probably win this game outright. The money's coming in. It's going to be the age-old question, whose book are you using for the starting line? Because I see the reverse movement here. I see that this thing's got all the money coming in on the under, and it's moved a point to the over, which jumps right into my wheelhouse of spots I want to get involved with here. And I know a lot of folks kind of love these numbers. I'll say it to you anyways. I could give a fuck. Horizon League teams on the road on a Thursday are 20-4 to the over, going over by 11.8 points a game. Now, everybody was telling me yesterday the spot that we had there with East Tennessee, that's an under team. They don't score. It's going under. That thing cruised over. And I even said in that game with the numbers and the trends, we're looking at about 150 total points. We easily got that mark yesterday. I think this is another one of those spots where everyone's going to say, Detroit Mercy doesn't score. Detroit Mercy doesn't score. Not only are they going to score, I think they have a shot to be a live dog in this game. A 132 number is a joke in this spot, in my opinion. I think we end up seeing a total closer to 140 for this game. The average in that 20-4 trend I read off is 73-82. That suggests 155 points in this game. That's a little crazy, but I do like the over 132. I think it's a good smash spot for us.
You got it. And yes, I did follow along on your over that you gave out yesterday. It was a nice, relaxing casher. Speaking of casher, Wine Time Sports just cashed the over 142 in the St. Francis
Oh, Wine
PA
Time?
game. Also, St. Francis, Pennsylvania, the star wide receiver, All-American, a young Troy Torrance, not too many moons ago. Locked in the over 132 at minus 108. All right, we got 3 games left on Mikey's college basketball card before we get into NBA with Darryl Rice. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, 7 p.m. Eastern. Charleston Cougars 9-4, opening up their CAA account at Hofstra Pride. We're in Hempstead, New York for this one. Let's take a look at the line history. I just had it up, but I moved it. Here we go. We have Charleston right now as 1-point dogs. Opened up as 2.5-point dogs. I think we'll get a better idea of what the hell's going on the money line here. By the way, I am interested in Detroit Mercy. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on it. I am interested. I don't.
I'm going to be pissed if they went out right and I don't have it, so it'll probably make my card too.
I'm interested in
bum fight.
But maybe we touch on it a little bit more at the very end here with you. But let's get into this spot here with Charleston on the money line. So right now, Charleston's minus 103. They opened up at plus 112. So 15-cent move towards them over with our friends at Bet Online. From a total side of things, we are sitting here with a 154. It's juiced to the over. Pinnacle's got 154.5. This opened up at 153. It got up to 154.5 and came back about 2 hours ago. So a slight move to the over and a move to Charleston. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. We have, going the wrong direction. We have, here we go. 34% of the tickets on the spread and 10% of the cash, and the lines move to Charleston on the spread. On the money line, it's a little different. 27% of the tickets on Charleston and 52% of the cash. Clearly, it feels like the sharp money on the College of Charleston. Total-wise, 50-50, but 55% of cash is on the over. Take a look at the X's and O's or rest. Charleston is just winning basketball games. That's what they have been doing. Hofstra has come off 2 straight losses, but look who they lost to. They lost at UNLV. They've already played Duke this year. They lost to Duke by 21. They lost to UNLV by 18. And then they lose at home to St. John's 84-79. And it's been a sort of a cupcake. I mean, we know St. Joe's is better this year. They beat them by 7. They beat Coastal Carolina by 3. So they come off against a Div 3 college. So it's I don't really know what to do here. Maybe you can figure it out for us here, Mikey, what your plan is. But from a rest standpoint, both teams have played since the break. The Hofstra Pride almost beat St. John at home on Saturday, and Charleston played that Div 3 college on Friday. Take it away for us here, Mikey. Charleston Cougars, Hofstra Pride.
Yeah, so, it's an inadvertent follow for me on Hofstra. I'm not a big fan of the program, but from some younger years, I had a female friend that was a Hofstra alum, and so she would fucking talk about this team nonstop. And it's like in the back of my head, anytime I see it, it just like auto programs what's going on with Hofstra. And absolutely nothing's going on with Hofstra right now. In fact, they're kind of a reeling team. They're kind of lost here. You look at who they're playing. Now, granted, yeah, they've taken 4 losses in their last 5 games. But what's even more impressive about those losses is they're kind of still following the script of yesteryear, meaning, you look at they played St. Louis, they took the loss against St. Louis. They were a favorite against St. Louis, but suspect in itself that they're on the road as a favorite against St. Louis. That's not the same St. Louis team in the A-10 that we've seen in a couple of years ago. Then you look at Duke. They were huge dogs against Duke. They came to play, but they didn't cover the spread, 89-68. That's not the same Duke that there used to be out there. So it's like they're following this playbook of, suspect, teams. And then they've got the St. John's win there, or the St. John's game where they lost 84-79. But St. John's is in that rebuild era with Rick Pitino. And, will they get there? I'm sure they will over the course of the long haul. But on the other side of things, you look at who Charleston's played against. And, that big win, the month of December, not some of the greatest teams out there with Citadel and Coastal, but they got a St. Joe's game that, took Villanova to the wire. They got a Rhode Island team that's an A-10 opponent. They were 10-point favorites against that team. They whooped them up by 15. And, they played an FAU team that we know last year, the Owls were feisty. So, I think Charleston's one of those programs that, can certainly open some eyes. And here's the thing about this one, same system that we cashed on 2 nights ago with Brown. We had Brown in this wheelhouse of points. Brown gets the job done for us. Almost won that thing outright, lost by 1 point in the final seconds. Then last night, we pivoted. We had Stanford against the UCLA team, right? Everyone said, UCLA. Stanford comes out there. We even said potential to win outright. Stanford wins the game outright. Here's the third day, and you bet your ass there's another one tomorrow, and there's some all weekend long. So hit me up on Twitter, and we'll certainly talk about those plays. But let's keep our eyes on this game tonight. 28 and 138 model, getting smoked by 6 points on the spread. Outright opportunity again for College of Charleston. When you look at Hofstra, that, again, I talked about that St. John spot. The big thing they've got is Tyler Thomas. He's a 24-point scorer. He puts up 24 points. That's a monster number in college basketball. And they still lost 84-79. So the guy had the game of his career, and they still lost. You got a Hofstra team. Here's a big number for you. 0-1 in games that are decided by less than 4 points. The nature of the spread suggests it'll be less than 4 points. Charleston's outscoring its opponents by 4 points a game. Key pivotal number out there. And the one that really kind of popped my eyes was the UNLV game there that Hofstra just had. Very unimpressive flat spot. They were a 4.5-point dog. They only put up 56 points. So kind of question what's going on out there. Charleston's won each of its last 10 games against conference opponents. They've won the first half 7 times in a row. They've gone on to win games outright 5 in a row. And I think it's just a team that's going to be hungry and feisty. And there's a reason this number is low and continuing to drop. I think definitely Charleston's a live dog in the spot. I'll take the points, but, I'd still like the opportunity for these guys to, in fact, let me just double check. Let me see what we're looking at. I don't have a lot of books up for this one just because Hofstra's a New York program, so I don't get to see a ton of opportunity on it here. I don't know what numbers you have out there, but I see 1.5s right now.
Yeah,
1.5
just 1.5s or money line.
All right, I'll take the money line. Give me the plus 102. Fuck Hofstra.
All right, we have the money line, a plus 102 that Mikey's got, but let me see what I can find here. Plus 102. Can we beat that? By the way, I will be on Detroit Mercy.
Yeah,
I will be betting
let's
Detroit
go.
Mercy plus the points tonight. So I will be on them. And I wonder, I expect that I'll be with you on. No, I don't wonder. I'm going to be moving on Charleston with you as well. I can't find a plus 10. I can't beat the plus 102 here. So we'll give you that plus 102 for Charleston, plus 102. And you are locked in. Good. I can see the action coming together because there's only a 2-game NBA slate. So we'll have to see what Daryl's got cooking. But this is going to be good to have action here. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. 8 p.m. Eastern, SIU Edwardsville Cougars 8-7, 1-1 in the OVC. And Little Rock Trojans 7-8, also 1-1 in the OVC. We're at Jack Stevens Center in Little Rock, Arkansas for this one. Now, both teams have played since the break twice, so they're ready to go. We talked about Edwardsville taking out Eastern Illinois. I am backing Eastern Illinois, and that was the game where Eastern Illinois shot terribly, and SIU Edwardsville did cover by a half point. They're coming off a loss on New Year's Eve on Sunday, 78-70 at home to those goddamn Leathernecks, Western Illinois. Western Illinois shot 54.7% from the field, won by 8 on the road. And SIU Edwardsville were 6.5-point favorites, and they were in that game until the very end of it, where the Leathernecks kind of pulled away. So angry SIU squad. Little Rocks lost 2 of their last 3. They were last seen on Saturday against the Tennessee State Tigers. They were on the road. Tennessee State shot 53.8% from the field and 50% from 3. That was exacerbated by the fact that Little Rock shot 9.5% from 3 in front of 493 people in the 9,100 seat Gentry Center. So they, and I don't know, I'm not getting a spread here where I usually do, but SIU here on the road at Little Rock. Let's take a look at the line history here. I still got the money line up, so let's switch to spread. We have one spot after this and a big one. We're closing off the college basketball portion of the show with the Colorado Buffaloes, Arizona Wildcats. That is next. But here we are talking SIU, a Little Rock. It pops off at 8 p.m. And we have, let me get here to this. Sorry, get to the line history. We're sitting here at a 3.5 at BetOnline. Bovada is hanging a 4. This has not moved since yesterday's 2:43 p.m. drop. So that's a very tight line, I guess, at the 3.5. And from a total perspective, we are sitting here at 152.5, juice to the over. This opened up at 154, dropped all the way down to 152. Now it's at 152.5, so a move to the under. And cash-wise, 88% of the tickets and 97% of the cash. Now, we're only talking about 789 tickets, but it's all on Arkansas Little Rock, and this line is not moving. 83% of the tickets and 98% of the cash is on the under. That line's moving. So that's important. We see the exact same ticket and cash flow on the under, and the line's moving in that direction. We see it on the spread, and the line is not moved one penny. Fascinating. And if Mikey Money is going where I think he's going, I will be joining him. Take it away. CSI Edwardsville Cougars. Take it away.
It's a bum fight again in itself. And this one is the definition of a bum fight. But the total's weird because you've got, both these teams, 4 of their last 5 games have gone over that mark, and they've had some sky-high numbers. 159.5s, 150s, 152s. The other side of things, SIU Edwardsville's a little bit lower on the scoring side of things, around the 135 mark. But here we go again. Same formula, same model. We've got a situation. This is a little double dipper, a little intersection spot of these trends. I talked about it again. This 4-point spot with these conference spots, the Stanford game, the Brown game, the game we just talked about with Charleston, and again, this opportunity with SIU Edwardsville fall into this little trap spot where the books don't know exactly what number to put out there, and they're seeing that's too many points. So is SIU Edwardsville another spot where they're a live dog? Potentially in this case. They're both 1-1 in the Ohio Valley. I got another trend that I track, and I mentioned the intersecting points for you guys. The Ohio Valley teams that are home, off, and over are 43 and 77. So they're taking a little bit of a beat down. They're losing those games at an average of 72 to 76, which again suggests that this Edwardsville team is live. And if you look at these two teams kind of down to the wire of it here, the biggest factor for me was kind of the outscored implication of team, and SIU is over excelling or overachieving in their outscored implication numbers or implied numbers. Their implied numbers of score are 74.5, and they've exceeded that the majority of the season. So it's a spot that I like, a team that's very confident and capable against the spread. They're catching points because they're kind of underrated out there. And if you look at it, they're 2-1 in their last 3 games against the spread. Again, these teams aren't playing any world beaters out there, but they go against each other, and it's just a battle. And I think here's a spot where we've got some strong numbers in our favor. Again, this is a reverse line movement spot for me, so it depends on where you see that opening number start at. But I love that you kind of looked at that cash flow number or the money line number too. And, as much as you're seeing all that cash coming in, the books don't really show any concern that everybody's pounding away on Arkansas Little Rock. In fact, they're saying, hey, you know what? We see your minus 180s. We see you like it at minus 190. How about you like it at minus 170, even though everyone's pounding away on it? So very much a suspect spot. I think short, sweet, and to the point. I think Edwardsville is another live dog. 8-17 versus 7-8 team. Anything can happen. It's coin flippy in itself, but I think Edwardsville, because of these numbers, because of the angles that we've been cashing with this week, I think is a very live spot tonight. So give me the +4. I see +4s out there. I'm not sure what you see, but I got Bet Rivers as a +4 at minus 112.
2 +4s here. We can get you minus 110. I'm joining you. This works for me. Absolutely works for me. All right, let's close up our college basketball segment with a big one in Tucson, Arizona, at the McHale Center, with the Colorado Buffaloes 11-2, 2-0 in the Pac-12. At the number 10 ranked Arizona Wildcats, 10-3, 1-1 in the Pac-12. We have a very angry Arizona Wildcat group, losers of 2 of their last 3. Last time they were on this home floor, they lost in double overtime to Florida Atlantic. They're coming off losing by 18 to Stanford. Even when they beat Cal at Cal, they let Cal put up 81 points. Now they put up 100 themselves, and then they let Stanford put up 100 points. I think and I know a team that's running laps, and it's these Wildcats. If they don't start playing defense, someone's going to lose their shit. Now, Colorado winning basketball games, and they're a really good basketball team. We watched them, destroy Miami on the neutral. Destroy them 90-63. Now there were some injuries issues for the U. They beat Northern Colorado by 22. Beat Washington by 4, and then Washington State by 7. Maybe that's not spectacular work, but we cashed in the first half against Washington. We knew that they were going to come out and take care of business, or at least I thought they were. And then Washington got themselves back into the game. So here we go. Both teams played on Sunday, so we have the exact same amount of rest. Let's take a look at the line history here for a big one in the Pac-12. From a spread perspective, we are sitting here. Here we go. We are sitting here at 12.5. We've been dealing with this 12.5 for a while. It doesn't seem to be moving. At BetOnline plus 12.5. It opened up at BetOnline at 10.5. I didn't realize it had done that. So opened up at 10.5 yesterday, 2:43 p.m. Within 9 minutes, it was at 11.5. Then it dropped back to 11. It moved to 12.5 at 8:51 this morning. So we're sitting here with a 12.5, a move towards the Wildcats. From a total scenario, we have a 159.5. Actually, 159, excuse me. But this opened up at 163. We've dropped 4 points on this total. And when we get to the cash flow, when we get to the cash flow here, take me a second here to get down to the bottom of the page. When we get to the cash flow, we have 48% of the tickets and 63% of the cash on Colorado. 63% of the cash, and the line's definitely not moving in their direction. And then you have 39% of the tickets and 48% of the cash on the under. So the public's betting the over, and it's dropped 4 points. Take it away for us here, Mikey Money. Your last game on the card, the Buffaloes at the Wildcats.
I think Colorado's going to have a tough time scoring enough points to be relevant in this game. One big spot I had for Colorado, I know everyone's saying we here and all this other stuff with Colorado. I got it, but there was a big opportunity for Colorado to step up in the limelight, and it was after what should have been the prototypical letdown spot for a Colorado State team who just took down Creighton and held them to 50 points. And they got their butts kicked that game. They got whooped up and down the court. The final score in that game, 88-83, doesn't show the true opportunity there because it was some trickery at the end that got them into that thing to almost cover the spread. Now it was 4, so they didn't cover the spread, but it was kind of an embarrassing display again on what should have been that letdown. And who doesn't let down 2 times in a row is Arizona. They found themselves in spots where they've lost games. They lost to Purdue, then they come back and they put up almost a 90 spot on an Alabama team. So very comfortable and kind of in that bounce back spot. They've done that their entire season. When you look back at kind of who they've played and what they've done, they had let me I can't find my note here. They take a loss to FAU 96-95. Then they come out there and they put up on the road 100 points against the Cal team. That's not world beaters, but nonetheless, certainly a team, 100 points. And that's where I said, I don't know that Colorado can get the job done and score enough points in this thing. They're definitely a bounce back spot. They got a team that you said the defense is an issue. And I totally agree. They're a top 10 defensive efficiency team that can't seem to figure out how to be a top 10 defensive efficiency program here. They rebound well. They're top 100 at forcing turnovers. And if you look at Colorado's offensive turnover numbers, 279th in forcing turnovers. So that's going to be a tricky spot for them. I think what happens is the first half's going to be tight, but I think the better team's going to start to pull away in that second half and get those points that we need to get to cover. Buffalo's clearly offensive efficiencies out there. They shoot very well. They're 7th in 3-point percentage nationally. But the problem with that is when you get cold, you're ice cold, and then things just start compounding themselves and it becomes quicksand. So you miss one, the team goes down the court, they put in 2. You come back the other way, you try it again you try to get your mark again, you miss it again. Next thing you know, you're down by 6 or 7 points before you take a stupid foul and you got those other guys at the charity stripe. So it's going to be a tough spot. I think the number makes a lot of sense. And the fact that everyone's overvaluing Colorado by jumping in on a public and sharp money's thinking, hey, Colorado's a great spot. This is too many points. But every time they make that move, we see it continue to get more attractive to bet Colorado. And that's definitely not a spot that I like to play with here. I think Arizona comes to shine here. It's a great bounce back spot for them. And, they're not going to feel good about that Stanford situation there. Clearly, what should be an inferior team comes out there and drops 100 spot on them. Granted, it was a road trip here, but they're back home. Defenses get right at home. You got your sight lines down. You're going to get in the hands. You're going to get in the face of the other team. And again, I think it's going to be a tough spot for Buffalo to keep up in this game. It wouldn't surprise me to see, like a 90-72 type of game where, Colorado looks okay, but not good enough to keep up with a team. And they'll discount it. They'll say, oh, well, it was Arizona. It was a bounce back spot. They still put up 70 points, but I don't think it's enough here. I think Caleb Love and the boys go out there, light the barn on fire, and they cook up Colorado real good. Buffalo for dinner.
I love it. I really think that I really like your card here today. Arizona minus 12.5, minus 107. Can you beat that anywhere? Because I can't get any 12s here.
I thought I saw 12. Hang on, let me see. There's a 12 at Bet Rivers at minus 112. What's the number you have on the 12.5?
Minus 107.
I'll take the 12 at minus 112.
You got it. Lucky Lefty with Colorado on his tickets. I imagine the reason why I like this is I think a lot of people are going to have Colorado on their tickets, and I don't blame you, Lucky Lefty. The first thing I did when I saw this line was like, really? They're this big of a favorite? That was my first instinct. And so I had to sit with it for 4 hours to go, oh, okay, maybe they should be this big of a favorite. So I completely understand your look on Colorado. It was my first instinct as well. But I'm going to flip. And I also think that this might be a double up spot. Justin McKelvey already has Arizona minus 12 on his card, but this might be a first half full game spot, because the thing about a really good basketball team when they're down by 17, and Colorado's a really good basketball team, is you don't see a ton of fight in them. Whereas if you're a 20-point dog and you're down by 17, you know that you can cover, you know what the line is. These players all know what the line is, and you know that you got to keep fighting. But if you're a great team and you're down, you're like, okay, let's just mail it in, put in the subs and call it a day. I don't want to only be on the first half in case that does happen. Michael Blonde is saying who's on the first half might be the better look. That was what I was thinking at first, but then I started thinking of the psychological angle of these good teams losing rather than the big dogs being down 20 and 22 who keep fighting. So I think it's a double up spot. I think it would be my lone double up spot on the board, which means I'm all over your card. Except I'm doing the Mercy. I'm betting Mercy, and you're on the over. But I'm all over your card, Mikey. So
I'll probably add that Mercy spot to it because we talked about it being a good spot for them to win this thing outright. So we're gonna be lock and step on this one, and that makes me a little nervous. I don't want to let the big man down here. I want to come out and play, but I gotta get that cash, dude. And I like to play. You see, I'm on dogs. I like to take money lines and things like that too. But in this case here, I just think this favorite's got what it takes to get it done for us.
Oh, Morgan, there's no doubt that Colorado is fighting them. I think Colorado's a good team. I just think that losing to Stanford and Stanford having that 3-point barrage, hitting over 60% from three, is a possible poke the bear type situation. Where if we're sitting here, in the Pac-12 playoffs, I would be thinking very differently here. So we'll talk about that here. By the way, Swiggy in the house saying Pub Sports NFL Cappers Contest is live. Thank you, Swiggy. And also, speaking of that, we'll touch on this in between. Let's stay with Mikey for a little bit longer here. Mikey, did you want to make the Mercy official? You don't have to.
Yeah, throw it on the card for me. Let's go. I'm going to play it anyway, so we might as well add it. Let's go with it. I'm not going to let you win alone.
So do you want the spread then on that one? Or do you want the
what
money?
Was the number again?
It's 3. I'm going to take the 3.
Yeah, I'll take the 3. Give me the 3.
Because
that was reverse line movement too, right? Everybody was jumping in on the other side, and the numbers moving down. Yeah, I like that.
Detroit Mercy has closed 0 games this year, so I'm not going to sit here and
they won nothing in 16, and we're sitting there going, "Yeah, let's add it."
Okay, Detroit.
But I like it. I think it's not just an arbitrary spot. I think there's a lot of reason behind it. I think it's a good. As much as there could be a good spot, Green Bay has been known to let teams down left and right. And I've been on plenty of letdowns over the last couple of years with Green, especially when they play like Cleveland State and shit. I can't seem to get it right with them. So they owe me a win here. So I'm going to take Detroit Mercy. I'll take the +3.
Morgan Spooner says taking 13 points against a team with multiple NBA guys is just wild to me. Good luck, though. Yeah, exactly, Morgan. Exactly. That's part of the reason why I love it so much. That when you see the line, you're like, whoa, you're jarred immediately. That's why I love it so much. So it's that angle that you have there that was my first thought as well, is the reason why I'm now going to double up on it. So All right. Let's review Mikey's action. Penn State plus 13.5. The over 132 in Green Bay, Phoenix, and Detroit plus 3 minus 107. Charleston money line plus 102. SIU Edwardsville plus 4. And Arizona minus 12 at minus 112 for our guy, Mikey Money. Mikey, we got to run here. We got to get into NBA. But please tell us what's going on. Last call this evening. What's the word?
Man, I'll tell you what, we've been firing this week here. Our guests have been red hot. LJ put up a nice 5-2 for us yesterday. Billy Briz, I want to say, was 3-1 the day before that. And we've been stacking cash. We got a great NHL card tonight. I did with the look ahead last night. I'm going to tell you there's 6 spots you don't want to miss out on. The NBA, certainly we've got 2 games, but there's quite a few spots in there that I like as well. We got a big college basketball card that we just covered. So looking forward to it. We're going to get that cash. We're going to keep it rolling. It's a new year. We got a new attitude, and we're having fun doing it. So 6 p.m., a lot of fun to get out there. Last looks, last call, looking at the line movement, talking about the things you need to know to get yourself winning tickets. And we build off of the momentum you create here, Jimmy. So I appreciate the opportunity to come on today. Sorry to keep Darryl back there as I get long-winded, getting excited about these basketball games, but I saw him back there. It looked like he was warming up to take free throws. So I know he's ready to go. This guy's going to eat in the NBA tonight. So I appreciate you guys giving me the time.
Love it, Mikey. Please follow Mikey on X at Pimp Slap Play of the Day. So Swiggy telling us that the NFL Cappers Contest Week 18 is live. Jose and I host the show today at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we have a 3-way tie. A 3-way tie for the cash. And I love these guys. We have Guillermo Zertucci, Sharpie, and Rushia. 3 guys that I love battling for that top spot and all the cash. And then Visa Joe, our guy Joe, a half-point back. So we're going to talk all about the Cappers Contest here at 3 p.m., our final Cappers Contest show. And it's been really fun being a part of it, which leads us to our playoff pool. Swiggy and I are going to be talking today. It's going to be up this evening. And the playoff confidence pool, $50 entry. Again, you get 13 slots. So if you're going to use your number 13, that's your most confident spot, you get 13 points for that. It's impossible to win this pool without winning that spot. In fact, I don't think, and I've done this pool for maybe 7 or 8 years, I don't think I've ever seen anyone lose maybe the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, any of those spots and not and still win it all. So we're going to try this confidence pool out. We can't wait to hear what you guys think of it, whether or not we should do it year by year by year. So please join us in the confidence pool, and we'll be talking about that here on the show. So, for instance, there's 6 games on the next weekend, and so you have 6 slots to fill. You can fill whatever ones you want. It's not against the spread; it's only a money line. So let's roll on. Sky Dragon says, "I'd rather not." Thank you, Sky Dragon. Thank you for your positivity and your glorious, unabashed joy that you've brought to the table. Let's get into NBA here and bring in our guest of Thursdays, our star of Thursdays here. And just like we talked about for all of us, the feeling we had after yesterday's struggles, of course points accumulate. What do you mean, DG? Of course they do. It's whoever has the highest points wins. You get 13 points for your 13 slot? Of course they do. So points accumulate. Whoever has the highest points wins. And we get to see each week what slots players have used. So he says, like, if you pick San Francisco 13, you get 0 points week 1 because they are on a... No, you can't pick a team that's not playing. You can only pick teams that are playing. So... that's all. So if you there's only 6 slots available week 1. So there we have you assign a confidence number 1 to 13 on each pick. But look, I'm DG. If you're filled with negativity, I'm not gonna get down on my knees and suck your. All right, let's bring on our next guest. We're moving to NBA here, and last week was not Darryl's best performance. I know he's champing right now. Our guy Darryl went 1-4, down 3.48 units. DG, this pool makes no sense to you. Maybe it's just too complicated for you. DG. Maybe what I should do, maybe I'll ask Ella. I'll ask Ella to explain it to you. Maybe that will help, DG. That's what I'll do. I'll get Ella, send you a text message, a little video clip of Ella explaining it to you. 1-4 in his last performance here. He's still in the black, still winning here. And over the last 2 years, he's been our number one NBA capper here on the show. So please welcome from Los Angeles, California, Mr. Darryl Rice to the show. How are you, my man?
I'm sorry. Just listening to you go back and forth with Sky Dragon, bro. I'm over here crying, man. I'm over here crying.
It's not the first time.
You sound like a sarcastic asshole right now, Jimmy.
It's not the first time we've gone back and forth. I love the man. So it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time.
It just comes out and says, I'd rather not.
Yeah,
I'd rather not.
Doesn't it just sound like your great grandmother? You know, every time I see him my grandma Francis with Dennis Garcia's face. I'd rather not.
I'd rather not.
All right. All right.
This doesn't make any sense to me.
Just smoke your Rothmans, Nana, and shut the okay. Let's go. We got work to do here, Darryl. Nice to have you back in business with us. We have 2 high-profile spots here, and we've already heard.
Time out, Jay. You got to add another win for me because I added Jaime Jaquez Jr. I added that and tagged you on it.
Oh, did you?
It was 2 and 4.
Oh, my bad. I know that you were going to, but I checked. I thought I went over your. I did check because you told me you were going to do that.
Why? Yeah, I added it, so it was 6 plays altogether.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah, it was 6 plays instead of 5, but that was the 6th play. So, so I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but yeah. So I'm still in the black, but yeah, it was another addition that I put you, Jose, and Pub Sports on. It was kind of like right before the game started because we were waiting.
So did you do it in the comments?
Yeah. I posted it on Twitter X.
Okay, I can't find it. I went over your Twitter, but that doesn't mean it's not there. But yeah,
I'll send it to you. But yeah, I tagged you, Jose, and Pub Sports on that. Adding it was 16.5 points, and then he hit 17.
Yeah, okay. So I've gone through your.
Okay, I'll look for
it. Send it over to me because I did look. Okay. I did look.
Okay.
Oh, DG says I'd rather not was in reference to the Cappers contest. Okay, DG, I'm sorry. I got. I did take offense. I did take offense. I've been known to take offense and jump to conclusions. And
hey, that's me all day, man. That's me all day.
No, that's my fault.
The thing is, I try to visualize how that person sounds when he's typing that, and then kind of your response to it. And he's like, "Let me just get Ella. Let's just get Ella." All right, man. Yeah, happy to be here, man. Happy Thursday to you, Jay. Peace and love to yourself, man. Happy New Year, right? Happy fucking New Year.
Yeah.
I'm glad everybody is safe. Peace and love to everybody in the chat, man. Let's get to it. 2 TNT games, not a lot. I've only moved on 1 play, so not a good bounce back day for me from last week. But yeah, man, looking at some new ways to attack the cards each week and try to get back to the 60%. So let's do it.
Let's do it. And I apologize, DG, for flipping the switch there. Got a little perturbed. You know, also because it's new to the channel, so maybe I'm a little defensive. Maybe I'm a little defensive. Yeah. You know, it's not like we've been doing this year after year, and I do respect your thoughts. So the I'd rather not did affect me in a way I'm not proud of. All right, let's move on and let's roll. We start 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Bucks 24-9, 8-6 on the road. At the San Antonio Spurs 5-28, 2-14 at home. Frost Bank Center in San Antonio, Texas, a place that you can go on Saturday night at Pubapalooza to watch Suns Spurs. I already know that I'm not going to be able to leave the bar. Like I could just feel it. I could just feel everyone going, "You're really not going to go to the game?" I just don't know if I can leave the bar. It's the warmest place in the world. So
really? I
oh,
can't
man.
wait. I cannot wait, Jay. I really can't wait, man. I know I've said my entrance on 2 years in a row, and it's just life happened. But I am free, man. I'm ready to go. I'm going out there. Can't wait to get down to the fucking Alamo and just look at some stupid shit. I just plan to be drunk the entire time, bro.
I've done no tourist activities while actually we got Jeff took us out with this mat. He took us out on a boat ride through the river walk. So steak dinners the first year.
Yeah. They got some good spots out there, bro.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great. I really like the city. I really like it. I really have fun there. But I'm not gonna leave. Not that 1-on-1. How many peanut butter burgers am I gonna eat, man? All right, let's roll here. Frost Bank Center in San Antonio, Texas. Two teams playing at a fast pace in comparison to other teams in the league, but not nearly as fast as teams were playing a month ago. Milwaukee 2-3 over the past 5, playing at a pace of 102.7 possessions a game. That's second fastest in the league over that stretch. San Antonio 1-4, playing at 102 possessions a game. A week ago, San Antonio was the fastest in the league, so they're now fourth. Let's roll to the line history here. We're going to go back to Pinnacle line moves. This opened up at 10. Excuse me. This opened up at 9. Why did I think it opened up at 10? This opened up at 9, and there's been a 1.
It got to 9.5.
Yeah, it got to 9.5, and then it came back to 9 at 10 a.m. And now we have moved to 10 at minus 107. And I started thinking about the situation, just psychologically, like if I was the Bucks after last night's game. This total is at 249, opened up at 249.5, dropped down to 247.5. I was thinking, the Pacers have now beaten you 4 out of 5. They beat you back to back, and they talked about how bad they wanted to win that basketball game, and now you got to go. Now you got to go to San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, now I know that people are going to try to build up the Giannis versus Wemby, but I had a very difficult time finding the motivation. The Bucks are just going to bounce back. Why? Just because they lost. I couldn't get there, even though this would generally be a spot I would like. 63% of the tickets and just 36% of the cash is on Milwaukee. So big bets have come in on the Spurs, which I don't want to poke the bear either. 56% of tickets and 65% of cash is on the over. 56 and 65 on the over. Bucks are on the second half of back-to-back after losing their second straight game to the Pacers last night, 142-130. Giannis, 26-11-8, just short of his fourth triple-double of the season. Dame went for 23-5, and Middleton has been dealing with the right wrist and right knee issues. He had 19-7. The Spurs come in off their third straight loss in 8 to 9 games, 106-98 at Memphis on Tuesday. Wemby went for 20. Keldon Johnson, 19 off the bench. Malachi Branham is expected to miss the game due to a sprained ankle. I'm going to pull up all my information here to see who game times and who's good. But take it away here, Darryl. Is there a look for you on this one?
Yeah. The funny thing is you and I are thinking alike on this. Milwaukee got smacked by Indy. This is a back-to-back road travel, but Milwaukee has been losing to Indy, right? And I don't know when you're thinking about, I can't get into the brain of an NBA player, but I wonder if, and maybe this is just a stupid question, but if some losses in the regular season hurt more than others, and you want to get that win back right away. And so you have some people that may come from the perspective of saying, well, you're not going to have Milwaukee lose back-to-back games. They lost yesterday. They're going to come out motivated and on fire. And I just feel that, well, maybe if it was a different team, but this being Indy, they've been losing to Indy. I wonder if it's just one of those things where they brush that off and then just come back this game. It's a bad spot for Milwaukee, and they should smack San Antonio, but I just don't know if they're really motivated. You got Wemby on a minutes restriction, right? You've got not knowing if Chris Middleton's playing. Now we're saying he was at practice, but if I'm right, Chris Middleton has not played in a back-to-back all year so far. So why would he play today? I don't get it. He has not played in a back-to-back. Somebody can quote me on that. But if Middleton's not playing, maybe let's just say he was playing. Well, is this number supposed to be 11? and because he isn't, they put it to 9.5. Is he worth 1.5? I believe so. Yeah. So the only way really to attack this game, in my opinion, is to really look at props. Just look at player props. Do you think that Dame is going to have a terrible game? Should he get up and score some points? What about on the Spurs side? It's a bad spot for both teams, really. So I don't have an edge that I can use on this game. If you look at some of the trends kind of go a little different. The total has gone over 4 of Milwaukee's last 5 games when playing on the road against San Antonio. The total has gone over in 16 of Milwaukee's 21 games on the road. The total has gone over in 6 of San Antonio's last 7 games at home. But San Antonio is 9-2 ATS in its last 11 games when playing Milwaukee. Now, of course, that's a completely different team. That's a huge sample size. But, I mean, I don't know how to gauge it. Should Milwaukee get up here and just smack the shit out of them? Yes. Should they be up early? Should this be a trifecta because they are just hands down the better team? Yes. Last game, Milwaukee put up 44 points in the first quarter. So somebody really looking to kind of just take a low number and just kind of get in and get out? Well, the numbers right now tell me a little different. They're kind of almost even in the first quarter. So right now, Milwaukee is giving you, on average, 28.1 points when they're away, and San Antonio at home is giving you 29.2 points. On average right now, San Antonio, 28.1 points, and Milwaukee, 30.5 for the season. Last 3, Milwaukee is 31.3, San Antonio is 24.7. So there is a disparity there, but I don't know how to look at it really. So the only way I could look is at props or Milwaukee first half, because that's where San Antonio substantially drops in the second quarter. So somebody says Wemby blocks there. I couldn't knock you off that either. I just don't know if they have that number up just yet.
My first thought initially was just to take the Bucks first quarter, and then I started thinking about is this a bounce back spot against the second worst team in the league? Are they really going to come in going, we got to show the world that we're better than this? Maybe, but I don't think I can bet it. Unfortunately,
I think if you're going to think that way, just think maybe because it's a TNT game, and it's only 2 games, so everybody's going to be having their eyes focused on this game. I don't know, but then I would lean more to at least San Antonio trying to put a good product out there in the beginning until later in the game.
So you're going to let this one go?
Let this one go. Yeah.
Let's move on.
A whole bunch I'm not playing this one. Possibly first half, but I'll let you know.
I feel you. Let's move on to the final spot on the board, the final spot on our show. And let's let our guy BJ lead us into it. A max bet here on the Golden State Warriors plus 3.5. Thompson says Bucks are pissed. First quarter makes sense. They're pissed, yes. Do they take it out on the Spurs? That's what I'm just not. I don't know. If they were playing a really good basketball team, I'd be all over them. But I don't know. Maybe it's the spot. But let's talk about this spot here. So we get BJ giving us the best bet on the Warriors plus 3.5. We've already heard from Sammy Comer on the Warriors. If you look and base this solely on the first 2 games that these teams have played in Denver, then of course you would be on the Golden State Warriors. Mm-hmm. I'm not basing it on these first 2 games.
Why?
I don't think Jokic fucking cares. I don't think he cares about the Warriors. The Warriors. What? The season ends right now. They're not. What? They're in the play-in. I mean, what is it? They're not the team that he's got to worry about. And and I don't mean that Jokic doesn't care about anything. I don't mean that. I just don't think. I mean, the Warriors are not the team they used to be. I mean, no one's like getting all pumped up to play the Warriors. So I just I can understand backing the Warriors based on those first 2 games. I'm not doing that. And I'm not saying that I'm here on the Nuggets. I'm just telling you my first thoughts here. Wow, Finland 2, America 0 early in the finals. Let's go into the line history here. We'll start with the total. This total is at 236. It opened up at 233.5. So we have a 2.5 point move towards the over. Let's get into the side here from a side perspective. Sorry, let's get this up here. From a side perspective, we are dealing with a 3.5. The 3.5 is opened up at -2.5. Half point move towards Warriors and then back. And then now we're at 3.5. So the line is moving towards the Nuggets at this number. Now let's go to the cash flow. And I care very much about what's going on with the spread and the cash flow here. We have, let me move over here. We have 74% of the tickets and 63% of the cash on the Nuggets. Now that surprises me. I really thought that the public would like the Warriors in this spot based on the first two games these teams have played against each other. So that surprises me. 65% tickets, 68% cash on the over. So, that I'm surprised. So the public is backing the Nuggets and the line is moving towards the Nuggets. So the Denver 4-1 over their past 5, playing the pace 98.80 possessions a game. It's almost the identical pace of the Warriors, who are 2-3 over those 5 games. They're 22nd and 20th in the league, respectively, over that stretch. In the 2 times these teams have met this season, Nuggets have pulled out very close wins at home: 108-105, 120-114. So now we head to San Francisco for the third meeting of the last 2 NBA champions. Jokic 35-13, and then in that first one, and then just 26-14 in the second one. Golden State, I know a lot of guys love hammering, and I don't know exactly, because of Draymond Green being in and out, if this really works, but I know a lot of people love hammering triple doubles with Jokic. Golden State has not allowed a triple double all season. Not one person has put a triple double on Golden State. Nuggets bounced back from their ugly 119-93 home loss to the OKC Thunder on Friday by beating the lowly Hornets at home on Monday for their 7th win in 8 games. Jokic goes for 13 points and 11 boards. Jamal goes for 25 and 7. MPJ goes for 22 and 8. And then Aaron Gordon returned after missing those 2 games with the dog bites. Gordon played 25 and put up 10. Golden State snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 121-115 win at home over Orlando on Tuesday. Chris Paul's been in the starting lineup for the last 2 games. He went for 24 in that loss to Dallas on Saturday before he went for 12 in that 121-115 win at the Magic here. I'm not going to go up against Sammy Calmer and BJ, but if they weren't here, I'd be on the Nuggets. And because I don't think that these guys, that Jokic, and I don't think anybody's in awe or cares about playing the Warriors anymore. The Warriors are an under 500 basketball team, and I know, and the Lakers are a 500 basketball team. I'm sitting here watching the Thunder, and I knew it was a horrible position. I was on the Hawks money line last night, but I'm watching the Thunder, and I'm still thinking, how do I not have a future on them? They're 10-1 to win the West. Why wouldn't I want to have the Thunder in my pocket? The Thunder is the team here that I think that could compete with the Nuggets. BJ says perfect spot for Golden State Warriors. If they win this game, they get back to 500. Also count for double revenge. Both teams play tomorrow, but the Nuggets got to travel back home to play the Magic. Look, those are great angles, BJ, no doubt about it. And I would never choose to go up against your max bets, and I'm not going to choose to do that here. Let's hear what Darryl has to say about this spot, Nuggets Warriors.
Yeah, so I was talking out this game with the diehard Warriors fan, and I thought the line was very telling. Right, last game that Denver played, they beat Golden State, but they didn't cut. They lost to the hook. It was, I think that line was 6.5, and they won by 6. Now you got a line. Okay, so
anyone who got and 5. So anyone who got in early, because I was right, because it was back to back, and I was like, as soon as the Nuggets, there was a day off, right? Christmas Eve was off, but I was saying, as soon as the Nuggets get through that game healthy, I'm going to move on them. But as soon as that game was over and Jokic didn't get hurt, it went to 6.5. And I was like, okay, well, I'll leave it alone. But sorry, keep rolling, man.
No, so good correction there. So yeah, this one's at 3.5 now. So, and I think that's telling. As bad as we want to talk about Golden State, they do get down at home. They are over 500 at home. And it's another, maybe me paralysis by analysis here, but I'm wondering what this Trace kid is going to do with Jokic. Is he going to have Jokic on skates? Talking to my Golden State Warriors fan, she really feels that this kid is kind of like loose and does not care. Like he does get down. So yeah, with me, I do believe that this is a Golden State spot. So I was talking to a Denver fan. He's taking Denver money line. Talking to a Golden State fan, she's taking Golden State plus the points. So I mean, there's a middle right there, right? You can win on both tickets. So this here, I wanted to look at this from a props perspective, and I wanted to see who was going to be more consistent, and that just happens to be Jamal Murray. So if you got Trace, it's going to be on Joker, who has been a little inconsistent right now at the moment. Somebody that you're really not quite believing in. The person that does come through is Jamal Murray, and I just think he's going to have some open spots, especially with CP starting off. You know, you don't have Gary in there, and that's your defensive, prowess right there. So I just believe that this is a spot for Jamal Murray that he can go off. And I say that because I'm not really that much familiar with Trace's game and how he's going to approach Joker. Nobody can handle Joker, right? But is there some tryhards out there who will overcommit and maybe get into foul trouble? I don't know here. But I do like Jamal Murray. Murray has not had the last 3 games that he's played against Denver, has not had under 26 points. He's averaging more points on the road than he is at home, and that's at 22.4, I believe. So I got his number, and I laddered this. Jamal Murray, 21.5. That number is probably not even on the books anymore. 22.5. I got that at minus 121, or excuse me, 134. So it was juiced, and 23.5 at plus 100. So I don't know where those are at now, but that's the pick I made. That's the picks that I feel very comfortable with, and that's Jamal Murray just kind of having a game. He's been consistent. You do also have, Aaron Gordon is coming back. I did see in on the comments there, Aaron Gordon double at plus 600. I can talk you off on that if you're just going to sprinkle a little bit of lunch money on that. I don't know how that's going to work out. It's his hand that was bitten. And so maybe that we lost on Michael Porter rebounds yesterday, last Thursday. Maybe it's time to go back to the well with that as so I don't know. But all in all, who I feel is the most consistent that really plays up against this team and does well on the road is Jamal Murray. 21.5, 22.5, and 23.5 points laddered.
Well, let's get you hooked up because the 22.5 right off the hop we can get you for minus 115.
Okay, yeah. So I got it. I got a worse number, but yeah, I got that at minus 134. So yeah,
well, we'll give you that right now at Pinnacle, and then let's see what 365 is offering for options. They have the 22.5 at minus 120, and if you want to go higher than that, they just have 30.5 at plus 375. Do you have a ladder at any other books that you would like to use here other than that 22.5 at minus 115?
No, that's a better number because the books that let me see if it's moved back down because it got as high as 23.5. I'm going to search something now to see if it got smashed back down to 22.5. Maybe that's why that VIG is the way it is. No, so it's still sitting at 23.5. So I'll take the one.
Do you want the minus 115 at 22.5 and the 23.5 at even money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have the 23.5 at plus 100? Or even?
No, I can only get you that 22.5 minus 115. I only have a couple books open, but if you can get that 23.5 plus 100, we can use both.
I got that. I've already got that. So those are the numbers that I stepped on. That 21 is probably not existent at this point because that was an early look for me. But yeah, we'll go for the sake of the show, 22.5, 23.5.
You got them both locked in on Jamal Murray. There's our guy, Dave Burke, in the house. One of our best comedians this country has produced here in town. And also runner-up in the poker tournament. Runner-up got sucked out on the turn there. The Dexter Pope hit trip fours to knock out our Berkey, who came second and got that cash, $500, and got that cash. Okay, sounds good, Jose, my man. So let's review our guy Darryl's action here. Jamal Murray over 22.5 points at -115 and over 23.5 points at +100. Ian Shaver says that tourney was savage. Loved every minute of it. We are set up now. As soon as we can get it up, we're going to really promote it. But we're looking at a poker tournament on the Friday night that is in between the conference finals and the Super Bowl. So I think it's like Friday the 4th or something like that. Maybe it's the 2nd. Yeah, it's the 2nd. It's Friday, February 2nd will be our next poker tournament at Bet Online. I'm trying to implement the rules and doing that. We're pretty excited that we had 40 people in. But we have Jamal Murray double up, BJ and Sammy Culmer on the Warriors, and no action for us on Bucks Spurs. So I will just be focusing my action on NHL and college basketball. I'm going to stay off this basketball card, and then we'll hammer the Giant Friday card. Darryl, thank you for rolling with us, my friend. Please follow Darryl on X at It's Darryl. And Darryl, please, can you send me that link to the tweet? Because I did look for it. I did look for it for Jaime. Thank you, my friend. Can't wait to rock with you in San Antonio, but we got a lot of action here before that pops off. Any last words here for the Cappers supporting the show?
No last words, man. None. It's been a good day so far. Let's continue to make this money. Appreciate everybody. You, Jimmy, Jose, everybody in the chat. Peace and love. I will see y'all next week.
There he is, Darryl Rice in the house. Thank you, Darryl, my guy. All right, let's review all action here. But most importantly, in 53 minutes, we have the Cappers contest show. Now, Jose is no longer backstage, so I can talk about him not putting his picks in. I'm sure it's going to come up for the next year. I don't know how much I'm going to hammer it here beside him. I'm not going to laugh in his face. I've made that decision. I love Pete laughing in his face. But the fact that it's happened back-to-back years is heartbreaking for the young man. Thinking about the money that it's cost him. Now it's starting to get funnier. Like I can feel it getting funnier, and I can feel the laughter coming up. But I'm going to try not to laugh in his face. But not putting your picks in week 17 when you're in the top 8 of a contest that pays out $8,000 is a mistake. A mistake only a man who smokes several blunts a day would make. And he did make that mistake. So, Jose, we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it here on the show. Leonard Porsche Jr. says, did you cover the Lipscomb game today? I know, Matty, I loved it. No, Leonard, my man, we did not cover Lipscomb, but Taint Play Today is on Lipscomb, and he's running nice. He's running nice. Topset says, I feel for Jose, but he's young. I'm old and I forget. It's funny. It's not. It's for me. What we do here with our action, it's the only thing I think about. Like I even talk about if I come close to missing getting my picks in. No, I think about it nonstop. Not that it's mattered. I've had very poor results in the first 2 years of the Cappers contest, but I don't think about anything else. I don't leave this house. I need to start doing something, or I won't be alive for long. I'm on day 6 of gout. That's what's happened to me. So yeah, it's all I do is cap and gamble, and I don't leave the house, and I won't have a long life if I continue to do so. Let's review all action here on the show. Coming off a 3-4 day, should have been a 4-3 day loss that under in the Pelican Wolves game by a half point. Let's review all action. Morgan Spooner and I are going heads up. His favorite play today is Colorado here. Colorado. So I'm going to be on Arizona. It looks like a double up spot for me. JPZ, EuroLeague in 7 minutes. Olympiacos and Monaco over 155 from our guy, JPZ. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Our guy don't play, man. Lost his auntie this morning. So sorry, man. It's losing family members. There's nothing tougher that we have to deal with. So I'm so sorry that you got to go through this, and just keep your head up, and you got to lead your family through these tough times. And but my heart goes out, man. Real sorry that you have to deal with that, and sending love and strength to your family. And we're here for you. We're always going to be here for you. Anytime you want to come in and just cap and hang, greet you with open arms. So really sorry that you have to go through that Dom play. And it's just sending love to your family, man. Okay. So let's go over all action here. Oh, that was the spot, I believe, was the Georgia State Southern Miss over 147. I believe that was Joe T's spot where I thought it had Joe T's name on it, and I don't. But let's go over action here. So for me, I've got 5 bets in NHL that I'm quite confident in. I really enjoyed talking everything out with you guys. I feel very clear with what I want to do here. So in NHL, I have the Bruins -1, the Bruins -1 plus 109, Blues money line plus 127, Lightning -1 at plus 132, Coyotes -103, Kings -1 at minus 126. So those are my spots pre-show. I'm adding the under in Pittsburgh, Boston. Nedeljkovic now going to be in goal, and I'm going to be counting on him. Yari's not been that good, and Needles has been okay. I'm adding the first period -0.5 for the Rangers. And then I'm adding Nashville money line. I was always going to. I'm adding Stars -1. That's an addition. I'm going to add the Wild team total under 2.5 or 3. I got to spend some time on it and decide exactly how I want to hammer that one. And then our guy Gogster, he added one spot on his card from his initial action, but this is Gogster's action here. He added the Senators' first period. He's already on Ottawa money line, the over 5.5 at plus 240. I'm curious. Again, I'm going to keep a routine with certain teams, and when Ottawa's at home, I'm going to be hammering them. I'm very curious to see what they do here. I'm very interested to see what the Kraken do on their 5-game winning streak coming off that outdoor win over the Knights. I'm interested to see what the Knights, if they bounce back against the Panthers. So I've got, this is a really fun time in the year where we can shape our opinions and set up to make money off them. Because you'll see me fading the same teams over and over again. And my number one team to fade in the NHL is the Washington Capitals. They're just going to keep paying us out. Buffalo money line in the over 4.5, SGP for Gogster at even money. I came very close to betting the Habs. I'm not. Rangers in regulation and Chicago team total under 2.5 minus 130. The chat talked me into that first period -0.5, and it makes a ton of sense to me. They just lost 6-1 to the Hurricanes. Colorado, Dallas over 6.5 minus 110. Calgary, Nashville, no goal first 9 minutes at plus 120. New York Islanders, Arizona over 6. I'm on the Yotes. Ottawa money line in the over 5.5, and the Kings money line in the over 4.5. And remember, Mikey Money said that Kings spot is and look, Rod Zawacki on Montreal first period. Mikey Money says that's the mortgage payment of the year is the Kings. I love the line moving against us here. I wish I had that confidence in other sports. I bet you if I did, I'd be succeeding more than I am right now. But that is the NHL card. Let's get into college basketball because I'm making many moves on this college basketball card that I'm really excited about. First off, Cab is on Memphis Tigers first half. I'm very interested in them. I'm going to spend a little bit more time here on it. Fanatical Jim says Riddick starting is a bit concerning. That is that's legit. Here. I didn't know that was the case. Maybe that was why the line was moving. I don't think it matters. I think that's the issue with the Kings. I think they're just going to attack here. Then Louisiana full game. Cabs on James Madison. I did like this look on Louisiana here. Troy Torrance, my man. Good to see you, buddy. So I'm going to be all over this college basketball card. I'm very excited, and I've got 46 minutes before the next show starts, so I should put a bow on this here. I do have some interest in Cleveland State. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to the window. I am moving on Eastern Illinois Panthers. I'm moving on Penn State. I'm Detroit Mercy, Charleston Cougars, SIU Edwardsville, and then a double-up spot on the Wildcats here. And look at that. Rod Zawacki says Cajuns money line. So it's going to be fun. This is going to be a really fun night, which isn't going to include NBA action. But we'll have LJ from H-Town tomorrow and a huge NBA card. We'll also be capping the national championship tomorrow with Bobano. Of course, we'll have our live stream for that. So looking forward to live streams. So you guys know, of course, we have the Cappers Contest show in 46 minutes. But we have 3 live streams. We have Clemson, North Carolina on Saturday. On Sunday, we have Buffalo, Miami, Dolphins, Bills. And then on Monday, we have the national championship that will be right on the heels of Last Call. that is our show for today. Thank you guys so much. I apologize to Dennis Garcia for going off on a comment that was not directed to our new pool, the confidence pool. I apologize for that. Okay, thank you, Darryl, my man. And so thank you guys. We got our confidence pool. $50, $50 entry. The video, everything's going to be up this evening for that one, and we're really excited about it. And we want to hear from you guys. Is this because we want to have a playoff pool that we do every year here, company wide? So we want to hear if you guys like it, if it's fun. I think it's a really fun pool. It's really easy, and it's fun being able to see everybody's strategy around it. It's really, really fun. So, and then of course, Pubapalooza is the huge thing. Nuke and Mr. Gogster and I were going to be heading over there together. We get in on the Wednesday night, 8 p.m. And I can't wait for that. Other than that, thank you guys so much for your support. Nothing without you guys, truly. Troy Torrance, Kelly McInnes, Rod Zawacki, Fanatical Jim, Johnny K, Tori Coker, Jay Peasy, Bo Jackson, Perky Sanderson, Jay's Final Take, Don Play, thinking about you, man. I'm so sorry that you have to go through this. Life can be unrelenting sometimes. And so we're thinking of you, and you're in our heart, and saying love to you and your family. Love and strength. Top Set, and I know you're going through that with your mom, and so is Not Flush Allen. Just thinking about you guys in these tough times here. Starting out 2024 like this is not how you guys probably envisioned it. And, just sorry you have to go through this, and you have to be tested like this, and you have to stand up for your family and help carry them through that. Sorry you guys have to go through it, and I know you guys will do it, with honor. But sorry you have to go through that. Ian Shaver, James Parm, Dave Burke, Billy Friedrich, I hope you start feeling better, my man. I know you're 10 days into COVID. What a battle. Astute Chaos, Sean Pulliam. Thank you guys. Lucky Lefty, Tariq Barrington. Thank you guys. And I know that, there's spots where somebody comes in and it's their best bet, and yet, someone like me is saying, well, I'm against it. This is just, we have to be able to disagree without taking offense. It's crucial. When I started in this industry and I would disagree with someone, they would take offense. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. This is not about us agreeing. This is us about growing as cappers and becoming better cappers. And Sky Dragon, I love capping with you, and I apologize for jumping the shark there a little bit. Alec Dirks, thank you guys. All right. Let me just say one more time. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to cap with you guys every day. It brings so much to my life, and I wouldn't have this opportunity if you didn't support the show. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Let's go out there and get that cash. We'll see you for the Cappers contest. Very exciting. 3 players tied for first right now. Sharpie, Guillermo Zertucci, and Rushia, 3 cappers that I love. So it's going to be really, really fun watching this bang out. And for those of you who are right on the bubble, like Dennis Garcia, good luck, you guys. Get that cash, and I hope we see you in 44 minutes. Other than that, I got some bets to make. I got some cash to make. Let's go get it. Stakes are high. Get that cash. Work hard. You get out of life what you put into it. Let's get this money.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H, I stack green like Boston. Shout out to Nasty Nate from down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Daby Cab. Swing by Dallas with them Cowboy fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Profit. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Conor Mack.